Imagine playing Football Manager without ever choosing who you actually sign. And instead, you have to rely on your director of football to buy and sell players for you. This is exactly what I'm doing against my dad in a test of, well, luck, I guess. Because let's face it, you guys know that sometimes my dad's signings are not the best. And so taking this power away from him could give him a golden opportunity to beat me in this challenge. However, at the end of every season, we will be spinning this wheel with 4 results on there, and 3 of them allow us to sign a player, whether that's on a free transfer, just a normal signing, or adding a player of our choice to a transfer target for our director of football. So it's father versus son, and my dad selected his team as he becomes the manager of Sampdoria. Whereas my team was chosen by my good friends at Surprise Shirts, who are sponsoring this challenge. And in my Surprise Shirt FM edition box, I was lucky, or unlucky enough, to be given FC Barry, also in the Serie B. Season 1, we've given our director of football some cash to spend, so let's see who starts to build a better squad. So the man who's currently in charge of all my transfers at Barry is Mr. Polito, who, as you can see, is not bad at judging players' ability, but absolutely sucks at negotiating. Whereas Dad's director of football has a very famous father. Andrea Mancini, son of Roberto, is slightly better at negotiating, but not so much at judging players. But still, Dad's director of football was on the ball right away, putting in a bid for Sassuolo Italian winger Chievo for overall price of £2.7 million. Despite Dad having a superior side, he starts off with a -2 points tally thanks to financial mismanagement in the past, but even still, Sampdoria are one of the favourites for promotion. And so the first signing was completed by Dad's Sampdoria side, who had a much busier window than what I was experiencing. In fact, before my director of football even approached to sign a player, we had already played and won our first game of the season, knocking Serie A side Sassuolo out of the Coppa Italia. Dad's director of football was in fact a lot busier than mine and was actually spending money too, and the feel-good factor at the club was spilling onto the pitch. It seems like my director of football has taken the summer off though, so we are trying our best with what we've got already at the club. Alright, Dad. I have been given a cracking shirt.
I love that shirt.
By Surprise Shirts.
Yeah,
so,
very nice.
I'll give you some information on how you can get your own Surprise Shirt to choose your next Football Manager save. So, a little bit different. I thought we'd embed it into a new series. And because we were literally speaking about doing a series in Italy, I thought, well, this is the perfect opportunity.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Director of Football Challenge. Dad's worst nightmare. He already tried to cheat, and I told him off for it. Adding transfer targets without spinning the wheel. Yeah, naughty boy. So, how this save is going to go. I am the manager of FC Barry 1908. Dad is the manager of Sampdoria, which I knew you would enjoy.
Yeah, I do.
One of your favourite Italian sides,
yeah,
from the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
So, we're both in Serie B. So we're in the second tier of Italian football. We are not allowed to sign any players ourselves. As explained, it's all down to the director of football. We can hire and fire new director of footballs as well if we don't think they're doing very well. But they have made some signings this summer. You might have seen a couple of them, but let's have a look at them all because yours has actually been quite busy.
Yeah, he's been busy, but whether he's been good is another thing.
Yeah. Now, we have, of course, bumped up the transfer budgets for season number 1 to see what would happen, see if they'd be enticed by signing somebody. So let's have a look then. They have signed, to be fair, quite a lot of players, really. They're just not amazing,
no,
I would say. So you've got this guy who was the first player to come in, the most expensive as well, Ricardo Chievo. Good winger, could play both sides, not too bad at all, good potential, only 21, 1.8 million. I feel like that's a signing that you would make.
He's not that bad. He's a winger, two-footed winger, so yeah, you can use him both sides, and he does drop back into the supporting role, so you can play him more like into the midfield rather than being a winger
deeper role. Yeah,
so he's not that bad. So I'm not going to criticise him on that one.
6'3" as well.
Yeah.
Got to be, big bit of a powerhouse. Then we got Pablo Mari's come in, £3.8 million from Real Sociedad. Well, their B team anyway.
Yeah.
Now, this, again, not too bad. 20 years of age, youngster, plays centre midfield. I don't know whether you would have signed him, although sometimes you make some weird and wacky signings.
I might have signed him for youth development or anything, but I definitely wouldn't have signed him for the first team.
No.
That way, yeah.
But yeah, he's got a lot of potential in the game. And then this is where it kind of went a little bit off the rails.
Yeah.
We've got free transfers coming in that definitely Dab would never use. Then we've got Pavricini. So, I mean, 18 years of age, not bad again, potential-wise, but I very much doubt Dab would ever sign him. Norman Garbett, another free transfer, definitely won't be signing him. He goes straight into like the youth team. But this is what the director of football does. He's not just looking at your team. He's looking at all of the teams.
Yeah.
So if there's a gap in the other teams as well, he's bringing players in. Another winger who's not actually that bad either with good potential. So, I mean, it'd be great for youth to go. He's doing quite well in that regard. I mean, some of them are 20 and 21, but they're close. He's absolutely terrible. Then we got Simon Davy, who is £500,000 for a left back, which I was like, well, that's a good sign of you. And you were like, my best player's a left back already, so maybe not so much. Nai Denoff, who was a free transfer, again, probably never going to see him. And Mohamed Zoma, which was a 41k signing. For 41k, I mean, that ain't bad.
No, it didn't.
He ain't great.
For that money, but
he ain't bad.
He ain't bad, yeah. I'm just disappointed, really. I mean, my team is desperately need a striker.
Yeah. That was a striker.
Well,
he longed to back out, though. That's the trouble. So if we are looking at your team, the best 11 pick, that left back you mentioned as being one of your best players is Cypriot Nicholas Ionu, who, he's very good player.
I mean, go up to my striker, advanced forward striker, Calder, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good striker, but 34.
Yeah.
So I'm desperately needed a striker. So and he didn't get.
And the other one's only on loan.
Yeah.
So he's only on loan from Ruben Kazan. So there's
I'm gonna have problems next season, don't I? If he doesn't pick his ideas up, really.
Yeah. Got a good goalkeeper, which
I'm pleased with that. So I ain't got too much to worry about that. So pleased with that.
Yeah, going for a 4-1-3-2 style of formation with a high winger, Pedrola, who's a very good player on this game. 20 years of age as well, and he is actually your player, so that's something to be.
So that's the problem. I've got him already in the team, and he goes and signs me. Like, how many wingers did he sign? So 3 wingers, is it? So and he's only 20.
But the other double-edged sword of this is how long do you keep Pedrola, because you're also not in charge of selling players either.
No, it's terrible.
So we could go through the season and, Pedrola might not be there in January. We don't know yet. So, some cracking players that you've got in your team. And you started the season well.
Yeah, pleased with that. Good
out
start.
of the Coppa Italia in the first round on penalties. But beat Venezia, who's a good side in this league, as is Palermo, and a 5-1 win against Padova. So,
not a bad
3
start.
good victories.
Pleased with that.
Yeah. Over to Barry then. Come on. My director of football was a lot less busy. I don't know what he was doing, twiddling his thumbs, because transfer-wise, I mean, we had, as you can see, £5 million. I gave him a good budget. Dad had like 8 million, I think it was, something like that. But my transfer history has just 2 players, didn't spend a penny. So, he might be gone at the end of the season. Now, we've got this guy come in to begin with. Come on, really? And then finally, we have this man who... I guess we're using the team that we already had. And we're going for a 4-4-2 with 2 deep DMs. I think that we got highlights in this team. Midfielders. I've got 2 decent midfielders, defensive midfielders. So that's like my core in my side. I'm happy with that. I've got a striker who's quite good as well, Sabili, 27 Italian. He's fairly fast, 14s in quite a lot of the attributes there. So I'm happy with that. And I have Di Cesar, who is a good centre-back. He's 40 years old. He's almost as old as you. He just lacks a bit of pace. Other than that, he's cracking.
I think I would like a bit of pace when I get to 40.
When you get to 40. 140. Vicari is actually one of my better defenders as well. He looks quite good, 29-year-old centre-back. And then we've got Dorval, who my scouts rate quite highly as well, as a left-back, who's a right-footed left-back. And he's very good. And he's one of my players. So, not on like a loan signing or anything like that. So, hopefully we can keep him. But I started the season not too bad either. I've only lost 1 game against Suditral, who, to be honest, is the game I was looking at thinking I should be winning. We also knocked out Sassuolo in the Cup, which
That's
I think is a really good result.
Yeah,
away from home. Beat Palermo 3-1, so I'm happy with that. Virtus Entella, a nice 2-1 victory against them as well. So if we're looking at the Serie B then, we're seeing the season preview. They are putting Dad as one of the favourites, given that he was just relegated within the last 2 seasons. Barry is down there in 8th place, a 10-1 chance. So without making any signings, this is going to be a bit more of a difficult challenge, but you like to think in season number 1 we might be able to pull off something quite incredible, maybe even get ourselves into the playoff position with Barry. And I think, Dad, yourself, you'll be looking at definitely getting into that playoff.
100%. I'll be disappointed if I don't.
Potentially going for the automatics with how close it is at the top there between yourself, Palermo and Monza, a team that we've both beaten already.
Yeah.
So, there we go. That is the Season 1 startup rounded up. Let's have a look then how it all plays out. And if we sign anybody in January, up to the director of football, of course, or even sell somebody in January. Again, completely out of our hands. The points deduction seemed a distant memory for Dad when the season was off and running as he continued to win games. I was knocking out my second Serie A side in the Coppa Italia, although we will hold off the giant killer name until after I hopefully knock out Juventus in the 3rd round. In the final game of the year though, Dad and I finally clashed and I caught him on the counter-attack and Sabili went through to score the only goal of the game. Despite this important win though, Dad is still top of the league by 2 points as we go into January where the transfer window opens again. Now the ultimate aim for this challenge is to be the first to win the Serie A title, with the players that our director of football buys for us within 14 seasons. Into the January window, and although my director of football is still signing free transfers I'll probably never use, he has also finally spent some money, bringing in an Italian winger, Zanimacchia, who will play naturally on both wings and is only 25 years old for just 1.4 million. You can also now officially call us giant killers now, as we eliminated Juventus from the Coppa Italia. We've got Atalanta next, but January has so far been amazing and seen us even jump above Dad in the league table to take top spot. Speaking of Dad's Sampdoria side, his director of football was bringing players in during January as well. However, they weren't exactly going to affect his first team at all. The second fixture against each other came quick in February, and at this time it was a 1-1 draw after a terrible pass out from the back. Although Dad definitely deserved the win, with me also down to 10 men for the whole of the second half. And this was the turning point though, as Dad's side completely locked in for the rest of the season, taking top spot back with just 8 games to go, and a surprise highlight being loanee Marvin Tooney running away with the golden boot. And yet the best form for him was yet to come for Marvin, as his goals tally crept into the 30s and beyond, as he scored multiple goals in the final 8 games. Everything he touched found the back of the net, and that propelled Dad all the way to the league title, ending the season with a whopping 36 league goals in 38 games as Dad's side win the league by 7 points. Well, what an entertaining season that was.
Yeah, pleased with that.
I mean, Marvin Tooney, 36 goals, the loanee from Ruben Kazan.
Oh, no, that's the problem with it. I'm going to be struggling next season for strikers, isn't I?
Yeah, I mean, he's worth 5 million. Whether the director of football will go for him or not is different. No, probably not. But I also had a goal scorer up there as well in Gytkjær, who is a 34-year-old Danish striker. Not the striker we both anticipated to be up there for our goal scorers. But you had 2 other highest average ratings. I had the most clean sheets with Posada, which is... Yeah, I'm happy to see that, although he is unhappy and we can't deal with any contracts. That's all down to the director of football. Assist-wise, you had the 2 highest, with Belemo getting 19. So from centre midfield, he has had a great time in there. So you got to be pleased with that one.
100%, yeah,
that's really good. But both automatic promotions, Dad. I couldn't catch you there, although I did beat you in one of the games.
Well done.
But I didn't lose to you either. We drew in the other fixture against each other, which is great. Couldn't catch you though. You were a good 7 points clear, but I was just happy to just even be sort of really far away from Catanzaro and get myself promoted as well. But this is where the fun now comes in, because of course with the director of football, I mean, I've got 7 million, which actually, to be fair, the wage budget is massive, so we might better pump that up a little bit. So I might be okay. But Dad, you have got 11 million with a very big wage budget as well, so not too bad at all. Let's look at the other player statistics. 36 goals from the loanee, 17 from Coutinho. Where is the other striker? Well, he retired.
Well, I did say that to me, so I'm out with 2 strikers now.
age 35. He got 17 goals in his final season, so he's gone out on a high.
Yeah, definitely.
Getting
Well
promotion.
done.
He's done all right there, so not a bad final season. He's now an assistant manager, which you can get him in if you want to. Or
Yeah. Well, I can sign my own assistant
you can
manager.
sign assistant managers.
Oh, right. No, you're all right.
No, yeah, I don't think you would. There was another player who did get who was retired as well, but I don't think you were really using him that much.
No,
to be
well,
honest,
no.
he literally played one game and conceded one goal at the end of the season. So as a goalkeeper, but there we go. So yeah, not too bad for strike partner wise. He would have been up there, of course, with 17 just league goals. So Titinho was up there as well, the winger that was brought in. So he's not too bad, but yeah. Myself, we're looking at really 27 goals from Gitgyar. I am surprised Sabili only got 11. That's disappointing for me. I thought he would have got a lot more in that position, especially being up front with somebody who's far, nowhere near as quick, probably not as good, and it got like over double the amount of goals, which is silly. Really, it's now looking at really what we are going to be hoping to get, because we're going up a division. I lost my centre-back because of retirement.
Yeah.
Obviously, he was 40. So
He's not going to be far off at your strike. He's 34.
exactly.
The Danish guy.
Well, I might need potential. I definitely need a new striker.
Yeah.
Midfield, I might be all right. Possibly wingers if I'm going to stick with this, but I'm not quite sure yet. I might have to see what we bring in first and then decide the tactic after. But we definitely need defenders. That's one thing. With one of our best going out, we definitely need defenders, or else we are going straight back down, which would be quite funny. Or not. What now? Yourself, Dad, what are you hoping he brings in?
Well, 100% I need a striker.
Yeah.
I can't remember how good my centre defenders were, but I do believe when I looked at it, I thought I could do with another one.
So he's very good, Rikio.
He's 22, so that's not bad.
Yeah, he's 23, but he's not as good.
Yeah, so it's the left-sided defender I could really do with. I can't remember what's my defensive
midfielder is not amazing, but he's all right.
If that's the one position I think you really, really do need a good player in playing the tack that I'm sort of playing with. So I desperately need and he's 30 as well. So I desperately need a defensive midfielder.
Yeah,
as well as a centre back.
Well, the only way that we can guarantee one of those things is going to come in is if the wheel is kind to us. So let's head over to the spinning wheel and see whether we can make one of our own transfers, whether we can bring in a free transfer or add a transfer target, or is it just solely down to the director of football this summer? Okay, here is our spinning wheel. So all a 25% chance. Which one is it going to be? Would you like to go first or second for season number one?
I'm going to get it over and done with. Come on, I'm going to go first.
Yeah. All right, so let's see what the wheel is going to give you. If it lands on green, you are screwed.
Come on.
Add to transfer target.
Oh, no, I didn't want that. I wanted the yellow, didn't I?
Yeah. So you can add one player to your transfer target for your director of football to then attempt to bid it, but that's never a guarantee that they will actually sign it. It's kind of like sometimes it's 50-50. It's that bad. Right, so that's what you get to do this season. What do I get to do? Will it be green? That will be the worst scenario of all. Oh, thank God for that. Right, it's blue. It's a free transfer of my choice, so I can do an end of contract, or I can wait till July and see who comes up and is obviously looking for a club. But either way, I cannot pay a penny of my transfer budget for this transfer. It's going to be an interesting summer. Dad decided the first thing to do was fire both his assistant manager and director of football and hire new ones. I was replacing my very stingy director of football, seeing as he barely spent any money. However, I'm keeping my already good assistant manager. And to replace my DoF, I brought in the worst ever Manchester United goalkeeper, Massimo Taibi, as my new director of football. My wheel spin transfer gave me a lot of good options, including a veteran in Radamel Falcao, which I must admit I was tempted by. However, I ended up going for a player with a little more pace in Ekuban from Genoa instead. Dad's chosen player to add to his transfer target was a Brazilian striker in Brenner, but of course Dad has to rely on his director of football to get the deal done for him, making him a high priority star player target. And Dad's new director of football, Matt Crocker, was on it right away, putting in a bid, which was accepted rather soon after, and Brenner signed with Dad's side, successfully completing his one transfer lifeline this summer. The rest of the transfer window, we were both delighted to see that our director of footballs were really active in the window, building us a squad of players hopefully capable of surviving in the Serie A next season. And although there were some useless players for now, there are a lot of great ones too. The season was underway though, and Daz, director of football, was still getting things done all the way through to deadline day. Getting 3 more signings done on the final day within a couple of hours, and signings that could actually change Daz's fortunes at Sampdoria that season, increasing his chances of survival. Well, Dad, I didn't expect such a busy transfer window.
They've done well, haven't they?
Yeah,
I'm quite pleased with
our
that.
2 new director of footballs. I think we've recruited well, bringing them in. So, you had a very good deadline day.
Yes.
I think that was...
He filled in the spaces that I was disappointed that he hadn't already filled.
Yeah.
Right at the death, so I'm pleased with him. No, he done well for me.
Yeah, he left it late.
Yeah, he did.
But he got the job done eventually.
Yeah.
And he also brought in the player
Yes.
that you had added to
he
your
got him-
transfer target.
He got him quite sort of good price as well. He was
Like that.
between 4 and 10 million. And
Didn't
he got
even
him
have to
for 5.
negotiate.
No, straight in.
Straight in, got
Done the
Brenner.
business.
Yeah. So not a bad signing, although he hasn't scored a goal yet for you in 3 games.
No.
Ooh, and it's been in quite a rough average rating as well. He didn't get any goals last year either. Who scouted him? You did.
He actually got me 3 other strikers as well. I think 3, maybe 4.
Oh, he was going for 3. I think you got you 2 in the door eventually. So free transfers then started to come in. We got Romani, who you probably won't use.
No.
But then players that you would use. El Kabi, another striker, Moroccan,
Yes.
decent striker too.
Yeah, this is the guy who's going to be up front with my other striker, with Brenner.
Yeah.
So
He also
he's good.
scored a goal.
No.
Yeah, but
Not a good start anyway.
left-footed.
Yeah.
He's got a left-footed and a right-footed striker now. Carmani Ryan also joined on a free transfer. Not a bad winger for the future, but not really one for right now.
No, not right now.
But then Agustin Alvarez, deadline day,
Yes.
a loan signing.
Saver this week.
Yeah, so he's
No, well, not
loaned,
Saver.
joining permanently next year. So he joins permanently next year, but he's on loan for this season. Decent,
Yes.
not bad at all, with
Well,
a good
quite happy with that.
potential.
Good start for next season. I'll have another striker in.
Yeah.
See how the 2 get on this season.
Absolutely. He drops deep, so he's kind of like the opposite to what Brenner
Yeah.
is. We'll leave the last one there. Brian Aguilar from Lanús, who is a good centre-back option.
Yes. I desperately needed a centre-back, so this guy's come in, and he's a ball-playing defender as well, which is even better for me.
Yeah. Young, with
Yes.
good potential.
Oh, I do, innit?
He's done all right
He's
here.
done well with that. Good price.
Also, they're signing non-EU players, knowing within the rules of how many they're allowed to sign, and
Yeah.
somehow they're all registering. It feels...
I think this is what I'm going to do from now on. When we go to Italy, I'm
Just going to let them to do it. Yeah. And then finally, your creme de la creme signing.
Yeah, this is my lifesaver one. This is.
Yeah, so we got Jakub Piotrkowski,
Yeah.
who is a Polish centre midfielder. I've never seen somebody so serious.
He's a bit.
I'm quite intimidated by him looking
I
at me
desperately
there.
needed another defensive midfielder or an attacking midfielder, and this guy does both. So my other midfielder, I can swap swap them between the 2 of them then for the 2 positions. So I really needed a centre midfielder. And he's got him in at the death.
Yeah,
well
good money for £7 million
Yes, it is
being
a good
spent.
price, yeah.
If we have a look at the transfers, you can see the names that almost joined on the. I mean, that Keenan Davis deal was getting done for months.
Yeah.
They were negotiating, and never got through. Same as Oscarson was like a good 3 weeks, I think, before. Hasn't he got massive ears? Look at the size of the earlobes. They are massive. But he enjoyed the club anyway. Unai Gomez was one that you were looking at and thinking, I wouldn't mind him at all.
I desperately wanted this guy as well.
But yeah, that never got across the line. And then finally this one as well, which was a very recent one, I think, a centre-back option. Obviously, you signed a centre-back in that final day, so that's probably the other option he was going for. But okay, so tactically, are you going to change it now with that deadline day signing?
Let's do the strongest 11 and see what happens where my 2 midfield players go.
So Balemo actually goes up.
Balemo's gone back to that position, and he was my best player last season. So I'm going to actually leave it. I'm not going to lock any players in at all.
Not even Brenner,
who
drops to the bench?
Nope. If he hasn't scored yet, I'm not going to lock him in.
I
don't usually like locking players in, but if I really feel I had to for getting a young player for progressing, we do it then, don't we?
Yeah.
But no, I'm not going to lock anybody in. I want to let it go as it is.
Interesting. Okay, well, schedule-wise, at the start of the season, you've got 2 draws.
Yeah.
One against Juve, which isn't bad.
Yeah,
and Piotrowski, who made his debut the day after signing, scored 2.
Oh, I do, eh?
Yeah. So he's had a great time
Yeah.
coming in and doing that. So not a bad start to the season. Also through to the first round of the Cup. Well, the second round now. You got Genoa, which is your rivals.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, in the Cup. So that's going to be an interesting one. Okay. Over to my transfer window then, because my director of football, Massimo Taibi, by the way, if you remember, the guy who was the goalkeeper for Man United who let it go through his legs.
Oh, yeah.
Massimo Taibi. It's the only reason why I signed him. He is a good director of football, though, and I am actually really pleased with the job that he'd done. He brought in a lot of players to me this season.
Was that actually against Spurs?
I don't know. I think he had 2 howlers. I can't remember. It was a long time ago. It was like 1999 or 2000.
Yeah, it was a long time ago, yeah.
So I obviously had the choice of signing a free transfer thanks to the wheel, and I brought in Caleb Ekuban, who is a striker that I decided to bring in, who likes to beat the offside trap quick. Got him from Genoa, your rivals. He's got a goal for me in 3 games, so he's not too bad. Not an amazing striker, but for the quality of my side, he comes in, and I think he's quite decent. But then, shockingly, quite early on, my director of football started to bring in some gems, including Rodrigo Muniz.
Yes.
And I'm very pleased with that signing. The Brazilian striker from Fulham, been playing in the Premier League.
He's only going to get better, isn't he?
Yeah. Professional personality as well. This is a great signing from my director of football. £5 million. So Massimo Taibi, he might let ball go through his legs, but he's on the ball with transfers. Then we got Lorenz Zuniga. So there's a couple of free transfers here. This one's not too bad at all, really. Might stick him in the youth academy so he actually plays some games, because I don't think he will play that many games for me at this point. I think he might struggle. So let's give him a little bit of game time and see if he can, progress a little bit more. Vukovic, who I'm actually going to lock in at right back, because my other right back isn't that good, but he goes in front of him. And this kid's only 19 with a 5-star potential. So I might as well give him a chance. Only 2 determination does bother me.
Yeah.
Not very determined at all, which is worrying, but there we go. Ilya Agbar, we got another player here from Vancouver, probably won't ever use him. Walter Goes, £4.4 million, Dutch centre-back. I'm all right with that one. That one's good. But he still doesn't go in my lineup, because my director of football signed a better centre-back later on, who you'll meet. We got Santino Fabi, who comes in, probably never use him. Lucas Henriksen, again, probably won't use him. Louis Binks, who comes in, English centre-back. He was playing at Bromby, has played in the Italian league for Como and Bologna, used to be a Tottenham Hotspur graduate. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We're even signing those players. Left-footed centre-back comes in for £1.4 million. That's a steal.
Bargain.
That's a really good player to pick up. A couple other players ended up. We've got Akab Akbaba, who won't ever use. But then this guy goes straight in at left midfield. The Swedish winger Jakob Ondrejka, who looks very good left or right midfielder, to be honest, but he goes into my left midfield. And again, for just £1.6 million. So tactically, we're setting up in the exact same tactic. All I've done is tweak a few things. We're getting stuck in a little bit more now. I've also lowered the tempo slightly and narrowed us up, because we have not started the season very well. And what I am going to do is I'm going to lock in Vukovic at right back, because although Dorval is probably a better, he plays on the left. Then we've got the guy that you've seen just a minute ago, who is not quite as good, and he's 30, and he's not even a right back. So Vukovic comes in. I'm going to lock him into that position there. Schedule. We have played 2 teams that I would hope to get points off of, and we haven't. And then we also played Palermo and got a draw out of them. So it's been a rough start for me here. I'm a little bit worried that we might end up in the relegation zone straight away. But we should never have got promoted, really, in the first place. Director of football's done very well. I'm happy with that. So season number 2 is going to be a tricky one. We've got yourself, Milan and Juve all in a row in December in a very busy period. So
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, interesting times ahead. But let's have a look then what happens in season number 2. That period of games was indeed going to be rather tricky to navigate for my newly promoted side, and even the easiest fixture against Dad didn't exactly go to plan. A 3-0 loss to Sampdoria, followed by a 5-4 loss to AC Milan, and finally a 2-1 loss to Juve. Not a great start to December. Dad was having a much better time with the first half of the season and picking up some big wins. And after a brief period in 3rd place, he settled in the top 8. Meanwhile, I'm scrapping for my life down in the relegation battle. So the transfer window deal couldn't come soon enough, and thankfully my director of football in January brought in some ammunition, starting with a loan signing, as well as a new goalkeeper and a youth prospect. Dad's director of football finally completed the Keenan Davis deal 5 months later on loan with a future transfer at the end of the season. But this couldn't stop Dad's form from really changing in the new year, as he fell down the table while I was closing the gap and climbing. We were enjoying an amazing second half of February going into March, even beating Inter Milan and winning 5 out of 6 games. Which means the form was the opposite when me and Dad clashed for the second time this season. However, the result was still the same. Dad took a 2-0 lead and my Barry side couldn't do anything until a consolation goal in the 95th minute. Thankfully though, my recent form was enough to carry me out of danger and keep us up in respectful fashion. Okay, end of the season, and I think we can both be very happy.
Definitely, yeah.
With how we've
survived.
Yeah, survival, and by quite a margin as well.
Yeah.
I mean, 15th place for me, considering how bad the start of the season was. Nowhere near the 27 points of Palmer with 42. Very happy with that. And you got 47. Now, you did drop down because at some points, Dad, you were actually...
I was in 4th, I think.
Yeah, you were quite high up the league in terms of, third place for a while, 4th place. Sort of when was that? In December, dropped off and then sort of just stagnated into 11th and 12th. But I was in and around that relegation zone for a while and pulled myself out of it. But either way, can both be very proud.
Oh, good season, I feel.
Yeah, I agree. AC Milan won the league with Jurgen Klopp as the manager, by the way. So that's an interesting one.
Already retired.
Yeah, but we've done quite well there. I think we can be happy with that. And of course, the January transfer window did see some more transfers. We've got stuff coming through as well in July with our... Director of Football's been very active throughout the season, which is kind of nice. I've signed quite a lot of players, in fact, in the January. One loan signing of Trilly, who was a right back, probably didn't play much because I locked in my right back. And then Filip Stankovic, who was £2.4 million goalkeeper, didn't use him once. So... yeah, the rest of the signings were all pants. Didn't really look at any of them. None of them ever played. And Dad, on your side of things, you had 2 transfers that came in. Keenan Davis, which is one of the ones that we couldn't get done before.
You finally got him done, yeah?
Yeah, he was loaned to join permanently at the end of the season, which he will be. He has played 14 games. Got a goal and 3 assists. Not amazing for a striker, but... only actually started 6 games, and then the other player, which, probably never going to play, and doesn't really look like a player either. So transfers, you have got others coming in, though. Obviously, Agustin Alvarez, which was the lonely signing that you had, only played 4 games off the bench. Didn't play at all.
No. I've got a fist full of bringing strikers now.
Another one coming in. And then you got Marco Tullio, who is a right midfielder coming in. He looks great. Yeah, he looks really good. So that's a good signing.
He might get into the first team, I think.
I think he would, free transfer as well, so that's not too bad at all. But yeah, I mean, you got to the 3rd round knocked out by Inter Milan. Can't be too disheartened with that one. And I got to the 3rd round knocked out by Lazio. 2 teams that we would expect to be beaten for us, so that's absolutely fine. In terms of wins against each other, though, did you beat me there 3-0 and 2-1, so you got the 6 points over me there, which, hey, you only beat me by 5 points, so that's the difference between where you were and where I was. The 2 wins against me. Yeah. Obviously, the aim of this is to try and win the league, but we're only going to give ourselves 14 seasons to do so. And really, we can't really do much if the director of footballs aren't signing that good of a player. So that's the reason why we have the wheel spin at our disposal, and we'll be spinning the wheel in a second. Let's have a look at the players then that we did bring in. We got Rodrigo Muniz, 20 goals, 6 assists. Very good. He's wanted, which worries me. But he is valued at £15 million. Now, my transfer budget is £15 million, and I do have 100% of my transfer revenue being given back to me. So if he does decide to sell Rodrigo Muniz, hopefully he brings in somebody just as good, and we can obviously profit from that. We've also got Ekubano, of course. I brought in on a free transfer, 15 goals and 7 assists, so I'm happy with that. That was my signing. So yeah, I'm glad that one paid off, because we look like absolute blithering idiots if we The players that we sign don't do anything.
Oh, you're just setting me up now, are you?
Because I don't know how Brenner's done. The rest of the signings, though, Ondrejka got 10 assists with 6 goals. Very happy with that. Gotta be proud. Lewis Binks doesn't look like he's had a great season in our defenders, but then we are down the bottom of the table. Truly actually played a fair amount of games compared to what I thought he would. Let's have a look, Dad, at your Sampdoria side. Did Brenner score? He got 11. He got 11.
I'm quite happy with it.
Top scorer.
Considering that he bought 3 or 4 strikers to come in as well, and we didn't lock anybody, I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, well done.
El Kavi got 14 goals, 0 assists.
He's
so he
not
got
batting.
he got the same amount of goal contributions as El Kavi.
Yeah.
Which isn't too bad, is it, for Brenner? But nice bit of development, maybe. There's a couple of attributes that have gone up there from the game time. So,
bad.
yeah, he's done all right. He's played 39 games in total, so it does look like your assistant manager favoured him because obviously you didn't lock anybody in. So, yeah, I don't think you can be too disheartened with that, really. There's a good amount of players that have come in and played a lot of games. Some of them not so much. I mean, Pablo Marin, which was... the defensive midfielder was that last season? That was last season, wasn't it? There's a couple of players that you did sign this season which didn't really feature.
Yeah.
But we're not expecting it. Yeah, you've got quite a big side as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if he tries to tighten that up a little bit.
I hope he does.
Going into next season. But I think Piotrowski. Let's try all that. 8 goals, 1 assist. The only player in your team to get a 7 average rating. That was probably the signing of the year for you.
Yes. Yeah, he was a good signing. He was the one I really desperately needed and pleased that he got. So, hey, he paid him back. He paid off, didn't he?
Yeah, wanted though.
Yeah.
By Al Ahly, another Saudi Arabian club coming in for him. £16 million, possibly. You got £15 million in the bank, so roughly the same amount of what I've got, with, again, 100% of the transfer revenue. So, if we're looking at what you would like to bring in, Dad, let's have a look at that first. Tactically, if you had to stick exactly what you had right now, and we went by what you've got in the side, what are you looking at going, I need a player for that position?
Well, if you just put in the best 11 there, defensive midfielder again, because I don't know what's happened to my other...
Balemo? I mean, he did play 38 games.
Yeah, he's 29, so he should be all right, really. So I can't say that's some...
But you'd need an improvement.
Yeah.
That's always been your trouble when you do the transfers yourself.
Yeah.
Everybody always criticises you because you spread the money out too much instead of buying improvements.
Yeah.
So you'd like to think your director of football would make the same mistake.
That's where I would go. Defensive midfielder, definitely get a really, really good, solid one in there. So... hopefully that's what he does for me. If I get a free transfer and buy one like a cat, that's what I'll be buying.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's the scenario, isn't it? That we've got. We obviously might get a transfer ourselves. So my 4-4-2. If I had to go for this next season, I'm looking at the same situation as you. I think my 2 centre defence midfielders were great for Serie B. They're not good enough for Serie A.
No.
And this guy might even be leaving 2025. His contract's run out, and we don't deal with the contracts. We're not allowed to. The director of football decides whether they stay and go. So I'm really hoping that 2 new centre defence midfielders come in at the very least. We've got a goalkeeper that he's just bought. It's just whether he would go into the team in the long run. Because right now I'm only playing... Yeah, if I went sweeper keeper, I think he would be selected, Stankovic. So that might be something I need to change throughout the summer as well and make sure Stankovic gets games. I think he's probably better than Posado. Yeah, he's a lot better than Posado. So that's 2 scenarios, well, 2 situations that I would want to change as well. Outside of that, a nice winger. And if he does decide to sell Muniz, a great replacement. But if he doesn't, I'm still happy with those 2 as my strike force.
Yeah.
Over to the wheel then.
Yes.
Let's see what the wheel can do in at the end of season number 2, going in to season number 3. All right, I'll go first this time round. Let's hope it's anything but green. Anything but green. If I could pick a transfer myself, that would be the perfect scenario. Here we go. That's good. All right, so it's the one that you had last season. 1 add to the transfer target. So it's not necessarily me making the offer, but sometimes they can be really good. Sometimes they'll never negotiate the deal properly and you'll not get that target, but you only get 1 shot at it. So that's kind of like a 50-50 risk. But okay, it's better than landing on or DoF and not having to not being able to affect it at all. Let's see what you're going to get, Dad, for the summer of season number 3. It's gone past green. You might have the same. You've got one transfer of your choice.
I'll definitely get a defensive midfielder in there.
Yeah, there we go. So you can make a transfer of your choice, whether it be obviously using money, free transfer, loan, whatever you decide. It's in your hands. So if you have enjoyed the Director of Football Challenge with Barry and Sampdoria so far, make sure you smash that subscribe button because me and Dad's got some transfers to do and you do not want to miss it in season number 3. And after both being promoted in season number 1, we have survived our first year in the Serie A. My last spin of the wheel was to find a transfer target for my Director of Football to approach, and I think I found the perfect player from relegated Parma. I just gotta hope that he can get the deal over the line for me and improve my midfield. Dad had the luxury, though, of spinning to make his own bid for a chosen player, and he's gone for the Ukrainian defensive midfielder from Dynamo Kiev for £9.4 million. Massimo, my Director of Football, has put the very important bid in for Burnaby, and I can breathe a sigh of relief to see that the signing can be completed very soon after. Which Dad also got done with Brashko as well. And so here comes the fun part again, and we agonisingly make our way through the summer, watching our Director of Football sometimes do nothing, sometimes bid for players we wouldn't ever bid for ourselves, and sometimes get excited when a talented player is approached. So before we see which players they managed to get over the line, Dad and I played each other in the first game of the season in Barry in a very one-sided contest. In a match that Dad will most definitely want to forget in the near future. Well, Dad, a great start to the season.
Yeah.
If you're a Barry fan. Beaten
Terrible.
4-0. What a result. What a result. So, I mean, we've had very busy transfer windows again, our second season in the Serie A. And, of course, at the end of last season, when we spun the wheel, you were allowed to sign whoever you wanted. I had to add as a transfer target. You got that deal done, £9.25 million.
Yeah, on a young defensive midfielder. So he looks quite good. So I'm quite pleased to get him in. Hopefully he can do the business for me.
Yeah, okay. Augustin Alvarez obviously was the signing that you had on loan from last season. He has now joined permanently for 1.6. Couple of crap signings came in. In fact, a lot of bad signings came in. Then you got Prograncic from Fiorentina only on loan, but there is an option, I think. I know, it's avoiding relegation from the Serie A. You then have to buy him, by the looks of it, for £1.8 million. So, I mean, he's a good player, though. And he's only 27.
Yeah, I'll take him. I'm quite happy to pay the 1.8 million or whatever it was.
1.6, yeah. For the Croatian centre-back. He's not bad at all. But there's other players who came in again on loan. There was loan fees. Bernardeschi came in from Bologna. I don't know why you're shaking your head.
31-year-old on loan.
Man, some of the crap that you buy. Then we've got Trolowski, who is again only on loan, Polish goalkeeper. He looks very peeved, doesn't he?
Well,
he is a permanent signing.
He's got a big peeve, didn't he? Because he's coming in knowing he ain't going to get a place in the team.
Yeah, he's got
a good goalkeeper.
Loan to be bought permanently. Then we've got a couple of, again, free transfers who you're never going to use, to be honest. I mean, they are terrible players. Finally ending with Romain Perrault, who is a left-back. Again, another left-back. But a decent one, though.
Yeah, he's all right.
Yeah, he plays all the way up the left.
Won't get injuries, man. I dare say I'll be able to use him.
Yeah, for sure. And to be honest, 500k loan fee, not bad. That's not bad at all. But there was other transfers that kind of was going through the ringer all the way up until that final day, including players going out as well, which never actually happened. Only going out, there was 220k.
I just didn't get, the Director of Football didn't get rid of enough players to allow me to play the players that he was signing for me.
Yeah, Marco Tullio has come in, non-EU player, and cannot be played, cannot be registered until another non-EU player is sold.
And they've got to be sold abroad, I remember.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Yeah.
So the Director of Football has not done that, and unfortunately, you're stuck with a player being brought in who
stuck
cannot
with
be
5
played.
players, I believe.
Well, that's just unregistered,
Yeah.
but I meant because of the non-EU. You've got players that are unregistered, which you're never going to play anyway because they're not that good. But the main one is that one, and the reason why you can't register him is because of the non-EU rule. So tactically then, you switch things up. You've gone for this weird, I don't know what you call that, but...
Well, I was hoping that my right back's going to go bombing down the right because I've changed the winger and brought him inside as an attacking midfielder. The options I had left over was probably the best player to put in that sort of position, really. So that's what I've gone for, just to mix it up a little bit.
Okay, well, there is your best 11. Not locking any players in for this season. Let's have a look. Other than the game that you lost against me, you beat Girona and you beat Lazio.
Yeah, I got hammered by you, and I go away, have a good result against Lazio and beat them.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
So far, you're 9th in the table. Let's have a look at this Barry side then. Of course, I was able to add a player to my transfer targets. I went straight in for Adrian Burnaby, who is playing for relegated Parma. And I'm very happy that they managed to get the deal done straight away. He had a relegation release clause, which is another reason why I went for it, because I knew the transfer bid would just be straight out accepted. As long as he put in for that, it would be absolutely fine. He's got 3 assists in 3 games already as well. He started off the season very well, which is the same amount of assists he got all season last year, which is mental, isn't it? If he gets 1 goal in the next 33 games, he'll be better, or he would have bested what he got last season. But here we go. I think he's a great player. 24 years of age, left-footed, which obviously helps when you're playing sort of like 2 in midfield for 1 to be on the left side. Can play centre mid naturally or defensive midfield naturally, so he gives me options as well, which I kind of like, because I am thinking about soon changing my formation, but I haven't done it just yet. I'm going to see how this season plays out first, because he also signed Idrissa Gueye. 35 years of age, obviously played for Everton, PSG, even Aston Villa as well. Very good player. At the end of his career, though, he's 35 years of age. His pace and acceleration has gone down, but he's still got good natural fitness, still a very good ball destroyer type of player with that 18 tackling and good work rate. So overall, a good signing on a free transfer. Again, though, more free transfers, which mean absolutely nothing to us. I mean, Bodar is actually not too bad. He might be starting games this season. He's actually started the first 3. Danny Da Costa, former Frankfurt right back, has joined the club as well, 32 years of age. Then we've also got Andy Delors, another free transfer, who is a good backup striker, because of course I lost a striker a couple of seasons ago. We've only replaced it with 1, so Delors comes in. Then there was a big signing of Tommaso Barbieri, who £4.2 million. My director of football decided to go for another right back, and he has actually been starting the game. So poor Danny Da Costa has not. Good luck, Angel.
Oh,
what a name. Great name there for the Nigerian. Good luck, Angel, 19 years of age. Good luck, because you probably won't be getting many games. No. Same as Goodman's son as well, who comes in for peanuts. Probably won't be playing. Neither will this guy. And then finally, we've got Kevin Benkic, who came in for quite a lot of money. He's just going to be a backup left back. I can't see him getting many games either. So as I mentioned, tactically, again, we're keeping the same shape. I've made a couple of tweaks because I've put an inverted wing back on attack, because Dorval, of course, is right-footed, and then he got himself injured. Great. So I'm hoping that he can bomb through that sort of gap that will be left there, where Idrissa Gueye is probably not going to go forward as much as the previous ones, and sort of underlap on Draker, who is going to be on that left-hand side. So we'll see how they do with that, because he did very well against Dad, of course. But that is the only game that I've played well in so far. That was, of course, my first game of the season. I also played Lazio away from home. Got a nice draw. That's where Dorval was, in fact, injured. And then we lost to AC Milan away from home, but only 2-1.
Yeah.
Which isn't bad at all, really. So I'm quite happy with that. Difficult season, I think this is going to be, because we had the buzz of going up last season. Have we really improved our side? I mean, they still rank me down in 18th place there. The promoted sides, Udinese, Cagliari and Salernitana, are usually clubs in the Serie A. So it's not like we've got any easy whipping boy clubs in the league this year, I don't think. But they give you a nice rating of 12th place, Dad, so you should be safe according to this.
I'll take that, 12.
Yeah, just whether that happens. So let's see how Season 3 plays out with our new transfers. Will there be any January transfers? And of course, can we survive? At least with the fixtures between us out the way, Dad can solely focus on the league table. However, wins are few and far between for Dad, who this season finds himself down near the bottom of the table by New Year. This year seems to be very much the opposite of what last year was, as now I'm sat in 6th place and having a whale of a time. January came along though, and not only were there a lot of transfers, but also another game between us two, in which I scored a 91st minute equaliser to snatch a point. Clearly, the Sampdoria director of football noticed that the club were in crisis mode, and in January purchased Lazar Samardzic from Atalanta in an amazing deal for up to £10 million. Finishing off the transfer window in January, signing 7 more players and bringing in 9 in total that month. My window was a little bit more boring, and the bad news was that the form also started to decline as well. And the arrival of Samardzic wasn't improving Dad's form either, as they actually slipped into the relegation zone with 4 games remaining. Dad's saviour looked to be the Brazilian striker Brenner, who scored 2 goals in a win against his former club and another to tie against Como. But was it enough to survive the drop? Well, that was a close one.
Oh dear. By the skin of my teeth.
On that final day of the season,
Hanging on.
A draw to Como stopped it. I think would have gone into a relegation playoff, because in Italy, if you finish in the same position for either first or relegation, I think you play against each other and across 2 legs. So you just avoided that. That was a tough one for you.
That team below me as well, they lost on the last day as well. So they'd won,
it could have been very, very much worse for you. The positive of this is the striker I signed on a free transfer got the golden boot with 20 goals this season. So fair play to him. Yeah, he's done all right. Doesn't look anywhere near as good now because he started to regress. Being that he is 32, a lot of his mental attributes have gone down, and his finishing, I think, has gone down as well, which... yeah, might need a new striker, despite him scoring 20 goals this season. But yeah, I thought it would be harder this season. I didn't realise one of us would be scrapping for relegation. So, I mean, past positions tells a story, because for a while, I was up there. I was in 5th place all the way up until January, mid-January, until I fell off a cliff into 14th place. So that's really disappointing. Whereas you just sort of like stayed around that bottom 4-5, even dipped into it for a couple of weeks to pull yourself back out. So that was a close one. January, there was a few moves that were made. Nobody significant. You got Bryce Wembangomo for £1.5 million, which is a very pacey fullback on both sides. But yeah, nobody of note. And then there's just a lot of players coming in, of course, which was loaned to buys. And then we got Pajaro, who's in there, and Chadira, who another striker. But nobody that you're shaking your head, because I know there's nobody that you would want to buy. You've got £20 million though.
Yeah,
so it's a good amount. You just need to start selling players.
That's the problem. My squad is so big now, and if he doesn't sell any players, I'll struggle to bring players in.
So many players, because I've got exactly the same problem as you.
Today now, I'll be raising about another 50 million now.
Yeah,
comfortably, won't I?
Well, I don't think your players are worth that much, Dad. I'll be honest.
No, true.
Yeah, I've got the same problem really. My team is very bloated, but I've only got £10 million to spend, so I haven't really got that much money. And if obviously we spin the wheel and I decide to go big on one player, then I'm not really leaving a lot for my director of football, who's still Massimo Taibbi, by the way, to do this summer. So I think we need to spin the wheel, see what we're going to be planning on doing, and then we can sort of strategize from there forward. Yeah. All right, Dad, you get the honours of the first spin for season number 4.
Be good.
And it's going to be, you're lucky, 1 free transfer that you can pick up. So you can.
A good season in the 4th season as well.
Yeah, you can approach obviously players who are running out of contract, wait until players have already been out of contract. Either way, you can't spend a penny to sign somebody. But who or what am I going to get? Just one of the other 3 would be fantastic. Just of oh dear! I am the first person to get director of football, which means hands off from me. I literally cannot do anything other than change the tactic before we start the next season. So, I mean, there's not really much point in me looking at my team. I might just set up a new tactic and hope that he buys players for it, but if he doesn't, then not really much more I can do about that. So, yeah, going to be an interesting summer for Dad, picking out his one free transfer, whereas I might as well just go on holiday until we get to mid-July and before I start taking training again. Dad's search for a free transfer didn't take too long. He found a fantastic young left-back at Paderborn that he can approach to sign on a free transfer and got a deal negotiated with the young German. And he signed almost immediately, leaving all of our transfer business for this summer complete. Unfortunately for both Dad and I, it was not that exciting for a transfer window, and both Director of Footballs chose to sign a lot of free transfers only and ignore the transfer budgets. With that in mind, I decided to really switch things up and go to a 3 at the back system and try and stay more defensive this season, while Dad was also changing things around, something a little bit more familiar to him. Right, Dad, I'm a little worried because they haven't really bought me in many players that are going to do anything for my first team.
All, is it?
No. So we got a couple of players. We got Matondo coming in, who's just a bit of a winger that I might use. Almami Torre, another right back, which, yeah, great. That's just what we needed. Other than that, I mean, it's all terrible. Ali Sly, yeah, we ain't using these players. A few players been out on loan, but we're still not selling anyone. That's the trouble. We're not selling anybody. In the last, 3 seasons, nobody has gone out for any transfer fee for me, which is really frustrating because we do have 100% of the transfer revenue of any players that do come in. So tactically, I've decided to switch it around a little bit. I'm going to try 3 at the back this season and see how we play it, because he didn't buy me a new striker, so I needed to find a 1-striker formation. And we've got a lot of centre-backs or players who can play centre-back. So I thought, well, we'll just go for it at the back and we'll see if that makes much of a difference. But if we don't exactly have the best midfielder to go alongside Burnaby, who, yeah, he's really good, but to be honest, I don't know why he isn't like that. That would be more suited for us. Obviously, we just brought in Matondo, so we added a right winger, which we could use, and Rodrigo Muniz up front, hopefully, can still score us the goals. It hasn't started very well. We've got 2 goals against Roma in a 2-2 draw, which isn't bad. No. We're out of the cup already, and we lost to AC Milan, who did just win the league.
Yeah.
So that ain't too bad.
You can take that, can you?
Yeah. We got you next, though, on the day that we are checking in. So, I mean, you had £5 million left in your transfer budget, but you did bring in a few players. Obviously, your transfer that you decided to bring in,
yeah,
Zenta, who's very good left back.
Yeah, my left back was moving on. Decided that he didn't want to stay, so I had to get a left back in quite quick, which I didn't really want to do, but I never had no choice. Never had a decent left back, so I thought I'll get one in, and this guy sort of fits the bill, really, for me.
Yeah, he's decent. And he's young as well, so with potential.
So I've decided that after last season, I decided to change tactics. Mine's a mirror image of yours, the opposite way around, though, because I've gone 3 up front.
You have, yeah. I mean, you breezed over the rest of the signings. There wasn't many anyway. Daniel Iverson was a goalkeeper that I think might go into your first team, to be honest, and play majority of your games, because he's quite decent. Other than that, I mean, David Eza maybe would get game time this season. 6'2" striker.
Because I'm playing 3 up front, really, and might get an injury.
But again, you did sell one player, though. Marco Tullio went to Damac, who was the player who couldn't be registered last season.
Yeah.
Clearly, couldn't be registered this season either. They binned him off. He's gone. Other than that, nobody. So yeah, tactically, you've gone 3 up front. You're 4-3-3 narrow, with Brenner in there as a DLF. In terms of new players coming in, Pedrola kind of goes from that left wing up front, which isn't too bad, really. No. He isn't that bad up front. But we did miss, by the way, Samardzic. We didn't highlight him at the end of last season. He came in January, and he could be game-changing for you, really.
Well, to be honest with you, he come in and he played 16 games last season. So he would have just sort of saved my bacon at the end of the season, really, to be honest with you. So when I see him there, I was quite pleased at because that's sort of my midfield very strong now.
Yeah, he's excellent. He's easily now your best player by a mile. Yeah. So, he might save you there because you'll start the season. You've also played Roma. You were away from home and lost to a 93rd minute goal there by Noah Lang. But you did beat Monza.
Yeah.
Which is a good start. You need to beat those clubs around you. So that's a good start for you. But yeah, in the season preview still sticks me down in the relegation zone, but puts you in 12th. So this is the trouble. We're not making our own signings, which means we aren't getting better players
No.
coming in. Well, you had a chance. You had a free signing, but yeah, I didn't get to do anything, and I think it's going to be a tough old year for us both in the Serie A. Right away then, we jump into a game at Dad's Stadium between us, where my Barry side take the lead in the first half, only to double it right on the stroke of half time. The game stayed 2-0 until the hour mark, where Dad's striker found time and space to hit the back of the net. However, the final goal came with just 10 minutes left on the clock, and Dad's defence gave my striker too much space and he punished them. This was another sign of things to come. After 16 games going into January, Dad was once again battling for relegation with Lazio of all clubs, while I was sat in the European spots. January came and Dad's director of football was selling one of his centre-backs for £6 million, as well as a couple of fringe players, while bringing in a new gen from Belgium who looked to have a lot of talent at such a young age. Doesn't look like he has decided to replace the defender that he sold though. There was no outgoing transfers, just loans for me, but also no real incoming ones either. Just the loan signing of a winger from Napoli. January also provided the other fixture between the two of us, where this time I wasn't too happy with the performance, despite Muniz equalising in the first half. Dad's side put off a cracking 3-1 win, which was part of the monumental implosion. Our form got so bad that we haven't won a single game of football since last year, and lucky our first half of the season was so good as we even slipped behind Dad. In fact, the only game we won in the second half of the season was on the final match day. Well, it wasn't as close as yours last season, but I'm in the same position of 17th. And you're only 4 points ahead of me in 15th, which, to be fair, that's where the season preview put me, in 17th. I think you were in 12th. So
12th,
yeah, your rivals are in 12th. You've dropped off into 15th place. Very tricky year.
All
Very
I can say is
tricky
that it was a better year than last year, so I've improved.
Yeah. I mean, in terms of the January transfers, there were a couple for us. They were all just free transfers, though. There's nobody coming in that's really making a difference to this Barry side. And then we had a loan signing there for Faras, who, I mean, he played 16 games, got 2 goals. Quite good. But 2 goals, 5 assists. Not a very good average rating, though. And that's the trouble. So only a loan signing. Doesn't look like we're going to be getting him on a permanent or anytime soon. So yeah, he's already gone back to Napoli, unfortunately. Won't be using him going forward. Transfer budget, I've got £6 million, which that's getting worse. But who can blame him when I'm not doing anything? Yeah. 9 goals. I didn't even get a player I got double figures. Which is poor. The good thing is, Rodrigo Muniz is young enough that we can keep using him should we keep him, and just find a system that might work with him. We still got Bernabe as well, who, you know, hopefully we can find a system which was really good for both of them. And yourself, Dad, I mean, the January transfer, he loves doing deadline day deals for you. He had a couple that came in there. They're all free transfers, though, unfortunately, and nobody who's like really good. Mukasa isn't too bad, but didn't exactly start many games. But then you got Ingvarsson, who I remember quite well as a striker. So another striker coming in. Anthony Bonney, who's £1 million. We've got our first new gen. And he don't look too bad, to be honest. If I would, I mean, I can't speak for you, but I would be looking to lock him in next season and see what he develops into, because he looks quite good, to be fair.
Yeah.
Just those physical attributes, but you can always train that and it won't be... Yeah, it wouldn't be as bad. A couple of players here from... Oh, there's one from South Africa who isn't too bad value for money-wise. Another one there. Spanish player, potentially. Colombian. So, again, not too bad, really. But, I mean, the players that are coming in, we're not looking at them going, oh, game changers. Again, you've actually had a couple of players who were sold in January, which makes a change. And even one going out there for £5 million, whereas... I don't think my Massimo Taibi believes in selling players at all. We didn't sell anybody. I think I'm going to give Massimo another season. One more season, because this is only the first bad season. I was happy with last season. I think last season was quite good with the likes of Idrissa Gueye and Danny DaCosta, Barbieri. There's a couple of good signings in there. So I think I need to give him another season.
Not really, no. He's getting me a lot of players that I'm not using. He's not selling enough players, so I might just change mine.
Ooh, okay.
I'll have a sort of sniff around and see what's around, but at the moment he's on a very thin line, I think.
All right. Okay, well, that's this season done. Your players, you had Pedrola with your top scorer, who was winger, got 14 goals. Samardzic, the centre midfielder, got 10. You were playing three up front, and Samardzic is getting the second top scorer.
Yeah, not good at all.
No. So something needs to be addressed there as well. But first, we've got to head to the spinning wheel to decide whether we're making any transfers ourselves this summer, or is it all down to the director of football? All right, it's my go first this time round.
Yeah.
Anything but what I had last time I'd be happy with, because that was such a shame. We're going past that. That's good. It's a free transfer.
You done well last time with a free transfer.
I did do all right with the free transfer. That wasn't too bad, the free transfer. The striker, he did very well for me throughout that one season. Kind of dropped off a cliff after that, but that's fine. It's a signing nonetheless, and that's what I'm pleased with. What are you going to get, though? Are you going to suffer the same fate as what I did in season number 4? No, we both got a free transfer to pick up.
Happy with that.
Yeah, in season number 5. So if you want to make sure you catch what free transfer we do make sure you are subscribed, because season 5 and 6 will be out very soon. So far, it's been a tough 4 seasons, though, as only a small handful of our director of football signings actually improve our teams. And some monumental drops in form meant that both of us were still scrapping at the bottom half of the table for now. But with my last spin of the wheel, I needed to find a free transfer to approach, and although there were a lot of options, I very much found my guy right away in Ola Solbakken, who looks a fantastic winger in his prime, and we eventually get a contract accepted. That's decided, though, it's time for a new director of football again, and he's approached Jonas Bolt for the role. This was despite his old director of football already signing a new transfer in centre-back Thomas Christensen, who's a big step up from Dad's current defenders. Dad had eyes on another talented player for his chosen player in Yuri Tillemans. His experience in the midfield took some convincing to come to Sampdoria, but eventually he found a contract worth accepting. It was a risky approach, but in the end Tillemans chose to sign with Dad and Sampdoria as their new player. Same as Solbakken, who I was thrilled to bring into my Barry club. A winger from both sides of the pitch who can finish as well. As the summer went on, even Dad's new director of football was struggling to spend the money he had, relying on just free transfers again for the players in the youth teams. Mum was having a bit more luck using the loan to buy option, but we weren't exactly bringing in players that would improve our team that much. And with the season underway, we needed to focus on the players we did have instead of the players that we want. And for Dad, that was turned out to be quite promising, with some very talented players linking up in the early stages. Right, Dad, well, I mean, you changed your director of football.
Yes, I did, yeah.
Although he's signing a lot of players, not spending money.
He signed me a good free transfer before I actually got rid of him.
This was your previous director of football.
Yeah.
Though. You sacked that one.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
So you brought in a different one since.
Yeah, but I mean, for his saying goodbye to me, give me this, and so I'm very pleased. Thank you very much.
6'6", 19 jump and reach, very good Danish defender. Your choice obviously was Yuri Tillemans, good free transfer to bring in. I mean, he is 30 with only 13 natural fitness.
I just felt I needed an extra bit of experience in that position, and he's a very good player. So
yeah,
I was going for a centre defender, but
you already brought one in.
He just brought one in for me, so I was really happy with that. Now,
your new director of football. Up to the same old tactics of bringing in players that you are never going to use. A lot of them as well. Noah Conan looks not bad, but not great. Pierre Kratz, again, not great. Rafa, yeah. He only really brought in one player who, to be honest, for £1.5 million, pretty bloody good.
Yeah.
I'd be looking at to actually play him.
A good winger.
Yeah, because he's got a very good potential. He's only 19 with a fairly professional personality. You start giving him game time, he could fly. Bit of game time, bit of pace training is what I'd be doing, and you could be looking at a really good winger.
I agree with you, but the problem I've got is I've got a really strong midfield, and he's not in it.
Yeah, I mean, he's actually in your under-19s at the minute, or under 18s at the minute, so he's getting some non-competitive football in that regard. So tactically then, you have got a narrow diamond, which also he wouldn't fit in.
No.
So lock in Brenner in the narrow diamond, which of course you had Brenner up there previously. So moving into more of an attacking midfielder with Brenner as the striker instead, and that's because Chadira goes in there, which you would rather have Brenner, I'd agree. Yeah. I'd rather have Brenner in there as well. So that's basically what it would look like.
Yeah, that's how I wanted to fit. To finish off, yeah.
Yeah, Samardzic, I mean, he was unhappy.
He was very unhappy.
Wanted to leave.
He wanted to go. He was wanted as well.
Still is.
And that was another reason why I brought Telemans in, just in case I did lose him. But I was praying that I wouldn't, and I didn't.
Yeah.
So it was able to push him forward and then put Telemans actually into the centre midfield, which I'm really pleased with. I think I've got a really good, solid 4 in midfield there.
Yeah. They aren't selling players a lot, are they?
No, that's our only problem, isn't it?
It might get to a point where we might have to start like putting up players for sale.
Yeah.
Or putting them on the unwanted list.
Yeah.
Because I think we might have to do that from next season, because our squads are just massive. Like, you can see how many players Dad's got. He's got about 11 goalkeepers, which, to be fair, if he was in charge of it, might actually be realistic.
Yeah, it's realistic for me, isn't it?
But yeah, I mean, we've gone how many seasons now, and you're looking at all the players going out. It's just free transfers and loans. There's barely any other players that are going out. I mean, they only actually sold these two because of one minimum fee release clause. Actually, that might be another minimum fee release clause, but he wasn't registered because of non-EU, which was his fault anyway.
Yeah.
So you're not selling players outside of that. I ain't selling players at all.
I don't know what our wage bills are like, but they must be awful.
Oh, it must be
considering
massive.
We haven't got players that we want to play.
Yeah, look at the difference from when you took over.
Yeah.
In comparison, above £1 million, which is
shouldn't be there.
mental.
I can cut that in half quite easily.
Yeah. So yeah, that might be something we do from next summer. I think start adding players to the unwanted list. Now, players that I brought in, of course, Ola Solbakken. I'm very happy with this player, bringing him in, who can play on both wings. He's a solid player indeed. Can play naturally from those both wings. Norwegian, very young, for a free transfer, not too bad at all. Then I'm giving Massimo another season. I don't think it'll last unless he brings people in January, because, I mean, a loan signing there with who's going to be joining permanently, that's quite good. He's a decent player for the wings as well. Mark Pubel, who's a free transfer, not bad. Caceres, and then this guy, no. So, I mean, Taibbi, maybe. If he brings somebody in January, possibly. But I'm going to go for this 5-2-3 formation and see how that one plays. So far, it's weird. I've got in the one game I thought I'd get battered in, I won 3-0. And then the other 3 games that I thought, you stand a chance in those 3, Luke. And we lost every single one. So I don't really know. This season could be awful for me. It could be amazing, but we'll soon find out. The season preview actually puts me... Oh, God. Calm down. What's happened here? The season preview is not favouring me at all. In fact, 2,000-1. That's mental. They literally see me as the worst team that maybe has ever played in the Serie A. And this is like our 4th season in the Serie A. So, okay.
That's bad news.
Yeah, very bad. You're nice and comfortable in 11th
I'm quite
place.
happy with that. I'll be happy to finish there as well, I think.
Yeah, I bet you would. All right, well, I just need to survive again, and then possibly sack Massimo Taibbi, because he needs to start bringing me in better players in case we end up getting relegated. I'll probably sacked before we're relegated, but let's see anyway. Dad and I clashed soon after in the middle of September, and although the first goal was simply poor defending, what came after was just absolutely shocking in a fantastic way for my dad, whose team played incredible and scored some of the best goals all season. His team was lethal and some of the finishes were out of this world, including Tillemans, who scored 2 bangers out of the 5 that Dad scored to secure his 5-0 win, and yet the best was definitely his second, as he caught a sweet volley from a corner that was headed back out. My results after this were awful, and things are looking rather bleak for us at Barry, currently sitting in last place in the table by Christmas, while Dad is actually flirting with the top half. Things were about to get significantly worse for me as well going into January, as Burnaby unfortunately left the club to go to Atletico Madrid in a £9 million move after already scoring 10 league goals for me from midfield. When January came around, it was a good chance for Dad's director of football to make some more additions to the squad, bringing in 3 players to hopefully continue his rise in the league table. Whereas for me, it was panic stations and replacements being brought in by my Massimo Taibbi director of football to try and fix this season, but eventually I think he found and hit the jackpot, because the final signing of the window was Joel Carvalho, a phenom of a player for just 160k, who plays up front and at just 19 vastly improves my side from Belenenses in Portugal. That was the signing we need, and soon enough we had Dad in our sights again and we were looking for revenge. Fortunately though, his top guys were still showing up and rescued a 1-1 draw for Sampdoria. But the belief was there for us at Barry, and although it was still close down the bottom of the table, we have now pulled ourselves out of relegation with some good results. And this is where my Barry side began to shine though, and Joe Carvalho stepped into the spotlight as the young lad began to include himself in the goals, whether that was just from his own finishing or picking out a beautiful pass for the likes of Muniz to benefit from. Dad was still pushing for European football though, and he had his own superstar helping in Stanis Pedrola, who was really at his best this season in a Sampdoria shirt. In the end though, the games against the much bigger sides proved too much for European hopes for Dad, and they missed out by 5 points, sat in 8th place. Well, I was very happy in 13th after how bad our first half of the season was. Well, I'm in 2 minds to sack Massimo Taibi now, because what a player he's found here. Joe Carvalho.
Unbelievable.
In the turning point of the season, because he joined basically on deadline day in January, played 15 games, got 2 goals, 3 assists, 2 player of the matches for just 210k. That's a steal. He is 210K. Fantastic.
What a find.
Yeah, what a find. Look at my results before he joined.
You were going.
I was off. We had 2 wins in the league all year.
I can see a big 5-0 one there as well.
There
friend.
was, yeah, a big 5-0. And then, well, to be fair, yeah, he joins here. So after this Lecce game, we lost the next game against Como. But after that, I mean, there's a lot of wins. Yeah. Only 2 there because it's Inter and Atalanta, and then Juve at the end of the season. The rest of it, we're picking up points, and we've done an unbelievable job to finish in 13th and look really safe and secure because we were gone. We were in relegation zone for so long. My job was insecure for a long time.
Week 17?
Yeah.
Ooh.
It was dangerous times until we got into January. That was a phenomenal signing from Massimo. I'm overjoyed with that. 8th place for yourself, though, Dad, just outside of European spots. So big improvement.
Disappointed about missing that, but really pleased with the final finishing.
Yeah, gotta be happy. I mean, yeah, I was knocked out in the first round. We knew that anyway. But yourself, Dad, you managed to get to the second round and then was knocked out by Monza. So, but your league position across the season, very much mid-table until like an eventual little climb at the end there.
Yeah, pleased with that.
Just missed out. I mean, Pedrola was your top scorer, 18 goals. Brenner only got 16. So is that the target that you were hoping for, or
not really? No. I mean, if I it's been standing like a sore thumb. What I actually need desperately, but it's getting that sort of spin of the wheel in my favour that I can go out and just buy a striker.
Yeah.
Because my director of football's not buying strikers now again.
No.
So
I mean, now that I think we're going to add players to our unwanted list, which obviously if you're doing that, I'm not doing it for you, but if you're doing that, you can ask for asking price, ask for value, half value, any price, sell or release. So it will give us the option. Those are the only options. When we do sell them, we could be getting a nice little transfer budget. You could hold off that player. If you do spin the wheel and you can buy a player, you could wait.
Yeah.
Sell a couple of players first. Go big on that one player that you want. I think that could be a good option.
That's what I need to do,
yeah.
I can easily get rid of 10 players.
Yeah, I think I could too. Look at the size of your squad. It's unbelievable.
I mean, like you said, there's 4 or 5 keepers down the bottom.
Yeah. £22 million though.
That's still good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got Andrea Grosso, who's coming in. He's not very good at all, but I mean,
put him on the transfer list already. Before he gets in.
Even in January, you signed 2 players. Got Gabriel from Vizela. He isn't too bad, to be honest. Brazilian, also, even though he is
19 though.
Yeah. Even though he is Brazilian, he's Portuguese, so he doesn't count as a non-EU player.
Yeah.
As a second nationality. 20 determination, very good mental attributes for a 19-year-old, so he could be something. Worried about his hair. I mean,
at 19?
Yeah. We got to be very grateful that the new graphics engine is coming, because hopefully we get way better new gen faces.
He looks
than
older
that.
than me.
Yeah, he does. And then Stelios Andreu as a good loan signing to sort of rescue your season, as well as Popelec, who was a Polish player which you signed for £2 million. So obviously you're playing a lot of midfielders. He came in and helped that.
Yeah.
So that's not too bad. £20 million to spend as well, depending on the wheel to see. Myself, though, in terms of goals, Rodrigo Muniz was the only player who got double figures, and he only had 11 with 3 assists. So 9 from Asadi, who is, of course, joining on a permanent, so I'm happy with that. Ola Solbakken, I was hoping for a little bit more this season from the new guy, but all right, it's not too bad. But what can we do next season with Joe Carvalho? Because, yeah, I think now we need to find something where both Joel and Rodrigo Muniz can play up front together. Not to mention he's left-footed, which complements Rodrigo Muniz very well, being right-footed, so they can play next to each other and have their own side.
Yeah.
I'm excited for next season. I'm going to go with 2 up top again. I've got 2 very good wingers. So, yeah, we'll see what we can produce in terms of tactics. I don't think my 5 at the back has been working. My transfer budget is only £6 million. But again, I'm going to look to try and get rid of a few players. We've got a couple of players coming in. Abdu Conte is coming in, of course, on a permanent. Ronconi is also coming in, but yeah, we're not signing anybody like that. There's a few other players that did come in, nobody of note though. So I think it's time to spin the wheel. Okay, Dad, spin of the wheel, and it's your turn to go first. Yeah. Let's see
so it's yellow
what type of transfer. Yeah, yellow would be perfect scenario for you. I think you're going to get it as well.
Oh, yes. Come on, stop. Get in.
1 transfer of your choice. Ooh, that's a good one. That is a good one.
Just at the right time as well.
Yeah, right. Let's hope for something similar for me, please. If I get green, I'm going to be so annoyed. We're not green. That's fantastic. 1 player to add to the transfer target. That's the second best option, I think, in this.
Right. Yeah, good.
Because they tend to put in the bid at the very least. So as long as you do your due diligence, make sure it's a player that actually wants to come and you've got the money, you should be able to sign them. But we haven't seen them muck it up yet. There's always time for that to happen. So, yeah, we'll obviously get to trying to sell players, but now we can also buy a player each as well as we go into season number 6. Dad's selected player was a new striker in Marco Nasty, and he was willing to spend almost all of his budget on him as well from Parma. I was also attempting to sign a Parma player myself, going for another one of their midfielders in Amir Richardson, but of course, I had to rely on my director of football to bring him in for me. Dad's deal was a lot more simple, and Marco Nasty was very soon after a Sampdoria player. Massimo Taibbi got a bid in for me for Amir Richardson though, and the release clause helped make the deal extremely easy for us. And the player thankfully was happy to join us too, and very soon was a Barry player. With the season fast approaching though, we both decided to switch up our systems, with me opting to go for something very adventurous to get a 2-striker formation. Real bad news for Dad though, as his star player Samardzic was sold to Al Ali, activating his release clause for just less than £20 million. I was getting mixed signals about my new system early on, because we began the season with an epic win against Napoli away from home in a 9-goal thriller where Joe Carvalho scored 2 goals. However, after a couple of losses that followed, we then played Dad where he scored 2 more, which was great until Dad's new striker Marco Nasty got himself a second-half hat-trick and played the perfect game, helping Dad once again pick up all 3 points in a fantastic match for the neutral as Sampdoria beat Barry 4-2. So I was conceding and scoring a lot of goals, but very much needed a miracle in the transfer market to help me out. But one thing's for sure is the system needed to change, so instead we built something a little more defensively sound. Okay, so again, a lot of players coming in. Just no real significant on the out, even though I put players on the unwanted list. That also did not work. So I don't know. Amir Richardson was the guy I chose to come in. We both, I mean, again, Parma, I had a midfielder from them the first time they got relegated when we were in the league. This time I pinched Amir Richardson. Obviously, I lost Burnaby throughout the season last year, 9.25 million. But he was the last player that I stole from them for 6.25 million. I wish his minimum fee release clause was a little bit bigger than that, but hey, never mind. So yeah, Amir Richardson has come in. I think it's a good price as well of just £4.6 million. He's quite a good player, although he has relegation release clause. Doesn't have another release clause, which is good. The rest of the players that have come in, though, are just awful, unfortunately. So it's a couple of free transfers. They got Chigualdo, who actually isn't that bad, to be honest. He'll be a good 3rd striker. Luca Moro, again, on loan, another striker, 4th striker now. But then, yeah, the rest of them probably not going to play games of football for me, unfortunately. Now, tactically, I'm switching things up. We're going for a 5-1-2-2. I needed to play 2 up front now that I've got Joe Carvalho, and he started the season very well. 4 goals in 4 games.
It's good.
Yeah, great average rating as well. So putting him up front seems to be working. We've got Solbakken, who's obviously our out-and-out winger, who's very good on the wings. I was tempted to put him in the middle, but I think he'll do more damage coming in from that right-hand side, cutting in on his left foot. So We got Segundo Volante, who will push forward and hopefully fill this gap here. Obviously, filling the gap there while the wing backs will push forward either way. So I think attacking wise, we should still be quite good going forward. It hasn't started great though, I'll be honest. We've started with a lot of losses, including obviously the game against yourself, where Marco Nasty scored a hat-trick.
Hey.
But
Who's Marco Nasty, they say?
yeah, I did beat Napoli 5-4. They've got some good players. I'm scoring a lot of goals. I'm just conceding far too many. So I've actually tightened up from what it was, because originally I was only going to have one defensive midfielder. Now I've got two defensive midfielders. So hopefully that won't be the issue anymore, and we won't be leaking as many goals as what we was previously. To yourself, Dad, obviously Marco Nasty, you spent a lot of money on him though.
Yeah, I did, but he's only 24. A lot of players that I actually looked at wouldn't come to me.
Yeah.
So it was a case of then I had to narrow it down to the players that would come to me, and he was the best of the bunch, unfortunately. So I had to pay 22 million for him.
Yeah, Palmer only paid 15 million for him the year before. He got 10 goals in his full campaign last year.
Yeah.
He's already got 4 in 4. Obviously, there was a hat-trick against myself, but a 7.45 average rating, so it was a good start to the season for him. Only needs 6 more, and he's got what he got for the whole of last season. But your director of football, again, a lot of free transfers, as well as Rocco Robert Sheen, who I don't think is amazing, and I definitely don't think is worth...
No.
Was it £9 million?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I see
not
me
a
and him
huge fan
falling
of.
out very soon as well.
Yeah, not a huge fan of that one. I think the best signing is Ali Al Masrati.
Yes.
He's fantastic.
Yeah, it's perfect for the position I needed as well. So, yeah, ideal. Finally got one player right.
Bit harsh. All right. Yeah, there's a lot of other players coming in again. Not really going to be getting into the first team. Not really at all. No. So never mind. Tactically then, actually to be fair, Giovanni Fabian as well was another player that he's brought in, midfielder who's on loan joining permanently. So he's not a bad player, midfielder. Tactically then, you're sticking with the diamond, but you're locking Tillemans in that attacking midfielder role.
I had to lock him in that position because I'd lost my player that played in that position last season.
Yeah, Samantic is gone.
I was so disappointed, so I had to replace that one position with that sort of class of player. So I've just moved it up. He bought me 2 midfielders, so one would definitely go defensive midfielder, and the other one might go with the attacking centre midfielder. So
yeah, the best 11 pick still puts Tillemans in the team.
Yeah,
but
I'll put him there. Look.
Yeah, and then you would have Piotrkowski there.
So that's what I'm looking at.
Piotrowski.
It all depends. Let them all fight it out for the centre midfield position, because I reckon the other 3 positions will be locked in. So, and Nasty's up front.
Yeah.
So I'm happy with that as well.
Okay, well, start the season. We know about one of your results. You also beat Cagliari 3-1. 2 losses at the start of the season, though. 1 to AC Milan, only 3-2, but then a 3-1 loss to Udinese.
I'm looking at that really. I mean, it's 2 losses, but it's 6 goals. That's the main thing I'm concerned about. So, yeah, not too good.
Yeah, there's a lot of goals this season in the Serie A, it seems. Everybody's scoring tons of goals. We've got somebody, Kavinda, who's already on 7 goals in total. So fair play to Daniel Kavinda. But, all right. So, going into this season then, the season preview, where does it put me this time? 700 to 1. I mean, I've been defying the odds ever since. The 2000 to 1 was a little bit harsh, I felt, but there we go.
Definitely.
700 to 1. Can I defy the odds yet again? Well, the tactical switch helped because although the big clubs were still battering us, we were picking up some good wins. Dad's Sampdoria's side was in a similar situation, and every time a goal was needed, new signing Marco Nasty was usually there to rescue with 10 league goals by Christmas. Which also turned out to be the same amount that Joe Carvalho was on as well this season so far. And there wasn't much to separate Dad and I at the halfway point as we sat in 9th and 11th. January, Dad was hoping his director of football would spend some of the money that was left, and although to some extent he did, only 2 of the multiple players that came in were first teamers. Mine was a bit more bleak than Dad's, with just 1 player and a goalkeeper who makes a difference to my first 11. The second fixture between our 2 sides happened soon after though, and Dad took the lead, only for 2 second half goals by my 2 strikers, leading the line in Carvalho first, followed by Muniz, and I stole the win. And this was part of a real bad run for Dad, where the only game he could win was a first leg in the Coppa Italia Italia semi-final against Milan, where Sampdoria finds themselves 3-0 up. The second leg was a banger of a match where Sampdoria scored some cracking goals and the score finished 2-2, meaning Dad will go to the Coppa Italia final to face Inter. In the meantime, while Dad was getting into the cup final, I was creeping up into the European spots. In that Coppa Italia final though, it was once again an amazing fixture where if you were a neutral, there was 7 goals and a hat-trick for Chidera, but unfortunately for Dad, Inter Milan came from 3-2 down to win 4-3 to lift the trophy. So as we went into the final fixtures of the league campaign, Dad was still struggling, while I was hoping Barry could just scrape into European football next season. Right, towards the end of the season, I had a lovely time. And that has bumped me right up.
I come from nowhere.
Yeah, into 8th place and claimed a Europa Conference League position. You can see along here, I was mid-table pretty much all the season. That 9th to 11th spot was mine, and then crept up. Even got into 7th at one point, but finished in 8th place. Very happy. I had a period of games where I won 6 in a row there. So, yeah, I'm buzzing with that because that's really helped us. I mean, hopefully will help us because of the Europa Conference League football next year, because financially things are starting to fall off just a tad. We're now in the red, unfortunately, but no transfer budget really at all. And it's probably because of the wages going up that much. But again, we can't really do anything about it if he's not going to get rid of anybody. So I'm hoping we can just get rid of loads of players in this next window and then bring that wage down and hopefully be able to spend something. Because right now it's a little bit we're in dangerous territory, and I think the European football might come in at a really good time. Joe Carvalho, though, I really hope he doesn't cash in on. He is fantastic for me.
Yeah.
He is really good. And again, just 210k. He's got 19 league goals this season.
I mean, 13 million is not a lot, neither, is it? It should be
No.
valued more than that. But
25-30, I'd be like...
19 goals, that's a hell of a season, isn't it? His first full season for you for 2K.
He's had a great time, hasn't he, from Belenenses. But, just how long is he going to last? I've also been, training him, you can see here, in attacking movement for anticipation and decision-making, plus off the ball. But really, it's for the anticipation and decision-making because it's kind of low at the minute. It's kind of like the only thing on him other than finishing, but finishing's not really that bad as if you've got good composure and good anticipation. So we'll see, but he has been an absolute barnstormer for me, and he's one of the first players that I've had in the top goal scorers of the league, so that's great to see. Dad, 14th place, are you happy with your finish?
No.
No, I don't think you would be.
Oh, I was doing well as part of the season and just dropped right off. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I mean, obviously distracted by the fact that you had a lovely little cup run.
Yeah.
Inter Milan in the final, you probably think, but then you gave them a bloody good game.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
And it wasn't until the 82nd minute when they scored an equaliser, you were actually going on to win it at one point. And then Bentancur, Spurs player, went and scored the winner in the 84th. So, that's
I'm
heartbreaking.
disappointed with that because that could have been a little breezy bonus for me, really. Oh, Eric Ten Hag as well. Look. I don't know.
That is class. So yeah, I mean, Sampdoria's gone down by the looks of it. They've won the Europa Conference League this year. So if I'm going in it next year, that would be great. Because if you won the Coppa Italia, I think you would have gone into one of those competitions. Yeah. So unfortunate, but so close yet so far.
My goal difference is -1, so there you go.
Yeah.
Defensive order let me down, I think, as well.
I mean, yeah, because Nasty, if we're looking at it, 18 goals.
Yeah, it's not
bad.
Lot, is it? I mean, you're looking at my midfield score in the 12 goals. Look, I had 2 strikers.
Pajola was the other one.
Yeah. So, I'm just not performing. Just director of football, help.
Yeah. I mean, you've been given £11 million, so you do have a bit of a budget.
Yeah.
You've also got a left-back coming in, the permanent signing of Giovanni Fabian, who you've been using anyway this year. And then, of course, in January, you did have some signings. It wasn't a lot. I mean, Andre Carvalho did come in. Again, not amazing, but not bad as a right-back, really. And then a lot of it was just like loans and free transfers that you've got. So, I mean, it's nobody special, to be honest. And you're getting to the point where it's like you need
first team players
instead.
They would struggle to get in my reserve team.
Yeah, but there we go. I mean, I don't know what I'm going to do with my transfer budget. I do have players coming in. They've got a few players that came in throughout the January window. Mandas, who is joining on a permanent one for a goalkeeper. But the rest of them, again, we're just not going to use. Just not going to use. And this is the beauty of the Director of Football Challenge. I am tempted to change mine now. It feels like whenever you first sign and he's actually out of contract as well, which is hilarious. It feels like when you first sign a Director of Football, they make loads of signings to impress you, and then they tail off.
Yeah.
I cannot be mad, though, because he did get me my striker Carvalho. So it's kind of like, well, he can pick out an unbelievable deal. So do I rely on him with that, or just be like, well, nothing else is happened?
You got one good deal out of
3 years, 4 years.
So you're looking at probably 25 signings?
Yeah.
You got one good one out of it? I don't know. That's what I'd be looking at.
Yeah. Okay.
I'd have preferred to got 5 or 6 really good first-team players in out of the 25 that you signed.
Yeah. We haven't got any money, but we still get to spin the wheel, because maybe even if we do get a transfer of choice, we can still use it for a loan or a free transfer. So let's move over to the wheel. All right, Dad. Well, I'm spinning the wheel first. Anything but green would be great. We're past that, so that's absolutely fine. And to transfer target again. This is the complicated one if you have no money. It's great in a way, but if you don't have any money, I'm not quite sure how I'm going to get possibly a free transfer. I don't really know. Let's see what you're going to get, though, with a spin of the wheel. Are you going to get green? Oh, one free transfer. Which isn't bad.
It all depends what this particular season
What's
is
on the market.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. I'll take it, though.
Yeah.
Better than the green.
All right, well, make sure you do not miss the next episode to see what happens with the likes of Joe Carvalho with our new signings, and will we replace our Director of Football. Subscribe so you do not miss it, and Season 7 is coming very soon. Season number 6, Dan got all the way to the Cup final, only to be beaten to the Coppa Italia 4-3 by Inter Milan. However, despite losing my best player recently, my Barry side managed to climb into the European spots for next season. My last wheel spin meant I could add a player to my transfer target, and I chose to take a risk and go for Esposito, in hopes to bring in a third very good striker. Dan's decision was also to go for a striker too in Max Meerdink, who he could approach on a free transfer thanks to his wheel spin. And it was a super fast deal for him to be able to complete, bringing in the Dutchman to Sampdoria. With no news of Esposito, I decided to replace my Director of Football, and Taibbi was gone to be replaced. And even before he came in, my technical director was doing a better job than Taibbi was doing recently, because the new Director of Football came in and he made a bid for Esposito, who unfortunately rejected the contract offer, and I wasn't able to intervene. With a month or so before the season starts, there were still deals to be made for both sides as we hope for an active transfer window. I decided to stick with the same system when the season began, as we had to qualify for the Conference League through the playoffs, and I had Celtic and our tie in the away leg first. And in the back and forth contest, we were 2-0 down. We showed a lot of fight to keep ourselves in the fixture and finished with just a 3-2 loss. In the second leg, we are much more confident and scored 2 goals without conceding to win the overall tie 4-3 on aggregate to qualify. And while my Barry side was securing qualification for the Europa Conference League, Dad was concerned with the lack of money being spent on his first team players, as the window eventually slammed shut. Dad, you targeted the striker Max Meerdink, and you managed to get him.
Yeah, lucky enough. Yeah, it was between him and the midfielder, but I felt my midfield weren't too bad and young enough where I was going to lose the striker, and I don't think they were good enough. So getting this guy in on a freebie I thought was a good decision, really.
Yeah. Likes to beat the offside trap, good mentals, good technical attributes. Pace and acceleration's a little bit low, but he does beat the offside trap.
Yeah, so I'll go there. And he was more of a pressing forward than an advanced forward, which is what I wanted as well in my team.
Yeah. Okay, well, you got a few other signings. We'll switch to me, though, because I didn't get the player I targeted, which is the first time that's happened for us.
Yeah.
Where we've obviously picked a player and they haven't come. So I went for your old buddy.
Yes.
Pio Esposito. He rejected me and went to Marseille. So, yeah.
Bad
tough
mistake,
one.
I think that one is.
Tough one.
Missing out on that one.
I even approached him and he was like happy to come, but my Director of Football, both Director of Footballs offered him a contract. Neither of them managed to get the job done. I did, however, sign one of your players.
Yeah.
Pograncic has joined me from Sampdoria on a free transfer, 6'3", Croatian centre-back. He's all right. Obviously, he's been playing for you the last few years, 4 years, in fact.
Yeah.
£1.8 million.
I'm disappointed to see him go, to be honest with you, but the Director of Football can't sign him, re-sign him, and it's a big problem I've got, but I can't help that, can I?
Nope. I can. Welcome. Now, the rest of the signings that I managed to get throughout the window, nothing really special. I mean, Luca Mora was already coming to the club anyway. He's not somebody that I'm going to be pinning my hat on as somebody to really make a big difference. And the rest of them, again, we are struggling here. The only real one outside of those three was Wataru Endo, who joined, but he's on the twilight of his career, 36 years of age now. He's only going to be using the rotational option. Does look good mentally and technically, but obviously the physicals are rather low outside of natural fitness, so I can't see him being used too much.
It's a non-EU player as well, so that makes it an even more problem, doesn't it?
We signed... I mean, my director of football knows what he's doing. Yours don't. Ruta Ghost, 210k, left the club, which is annoying because we bought him for £5 million and he has played quite a lot. So to go for that cheap is very frustrating, especially when financially it's kind of in the bin at the minute. And obviously our transfer budget was so low because of how bad our finances was. So I'm hoping we can sell players for a lot more than that, which is the reason why I did change the director of football this summer. And we brought in Jonas Sufert and obviously let go of Massimo Taibbi, who was okay. He obviously started well, but then nothing really outside of that came of it.
No.
So yeah, I decided to make the change and bring him in. I also brought in a new assistant manager as well in Giovanni Martuscelio, who I think's a very good assistant manager. He was recently at Atalanta the last couple of seasons. So yeah, he's a lot better than the assistant manager we had previously. So that's good. Now, tactically, I'm sticking with what we had last season because, of course, it got us European football. And we actually have progressed through to the Europa Conference League after defeating Celtic. So bad result in the first leg, but we did come out with a nice little 2-0 win home leg. So we are in the Europa Conference League this year. We've got to play another Scottish team in Hearts. We've got to play Icelandic team. We've got to play a lot of teams that I think we should definitely beat. And I think we could progress through to the Europa Conference League knockout stages. Outside of that, there are a couple of clubs in there. You're looking at the Genks, possibly Antwerp, Twente, that could cause us trouble. And then you've got the big boys like Gladbach, who I think might be one of the best in here. Even to some extent, Bodo Glimt and Panathinaikos could cause me trouble in this competition. But hey, I think we could get through to the next round. It might be quite exciting. So the other transfers that you brought in, Dad, outside of Meerdink, you had a couple of free transfers. Madi Fai doesn't look too bad at all, really.
No.
I mean, left-footed centre-back, 19 years of age, 6'4". There are a few weaknesses in terms of physical attributes, but he does look all right. So for a free transfer, you're not going to complain with that. Fabian, who of course was a loan signing, which was a loan to buy, so he is now a permanent player, which is good. Joachim Andersen, though, is quite a good signing.
Yes.
Defender. I mean, he's old, but
I lost a centre back, so I've got a centre back in again. But I'm just a bit concerned about the age again. So I lost a 31 and signed a 33-year-old. So I don't agree with that. But yeah, he's good. It replaces the one I've lost, so I'm happy with that.
Yeah. Then you've got Adriano. I don't think is really going to get into your team. No. Is Isaac Moran. So, and then there was just a lot of players who came in for like barely pennies, who you very much doubt you'll be playing at all.
Don't know where he's going with these signings. Sometimes he's not signing for the first team, is he?
No. But then £2.3 million was spent on a goalkeeper who actually does go into your team and improve it.
Yeah, definitely. I'm really pleased with this signing. I mean, all right, he's 32, but that's not a bad age for a goalkeeper, I think. So, yeah, I'm pleased with this signing. Finally got one right.
Yeah.
Straight into my team as well.
Yeah,
happy with that.
Tactically, you've gone for the narrow diamond.
I've stuck with what I played last season because certain players have moved around. I've got a new striker in. I've got the new guy. He's not a new guy, but he's the young lad in attacking midfielder who I think could cause a few problems as well. So.
Yeah, so he came in a couple of years ago, didn't he? For $2 million. He played a lot last season, got 10 assists.
Yeah. So I'm hoping he's going to do a bit more of the same if I don't, because I locked Telemans in that position last season. Yeah. So with him playing in that position, hopefully he'll do a bit more than this time. So
yeah. Obviously, Edu Sanchez came in as well, so left back has joined the club.
He's a good left back as well. So
Anderson's in, Newbell's in. So there's three players that are straight in there, as well as obviously Meerdink, who you brought in yourself. So I mean, at least 4 new players in your starting 11.
Yes. So I think that's why I've stayed with the same tactic. Really, I think it's a better team starting 11. So I'm going to just leave it as it is then and see how it goes.
Okay. Well, schedule at the start of the season. You have lost against Cremonese and Lazio, but have beaten Lecce and you are through to the next round of the Cup. Obviously, you haven't got European football. We are playing each other fairly soon as well, start of October. You got a tough run before that. Only Cagliari really there you look at, because the rest of them are away legs. That you think you might be able to get a win there.
Quite an hard start to the season, really. You know, going past you as well, even there's a few games after that. It's quite hard, really. But I suppose every game in this league is going to be quite hard, really. You got the top sort of 8 or 9 to play against.
Yeah.
You just hope that you get some results out of them and try and take on the rest of them.
Mm-hmm. Well, maybe January we can start bringing in some more players as well. The season preview puts you in 10th, me in 16th, despite me finishing in like 6th place last season. Makes no sense, but here we are. All right, so let's crack on with this season. How am I going to do with European football to contend with? Can we keep up the good form, or will Dad take advantage? For Dad, this season draw seems to be off the table. He was either winning by 3 goals or losing. And when we clashed in October, he did take the lead, only for my Barry side to pull things back in the second half to level terms, and for Joe Carvalho to score 2 goals, which secured a 3-1 away win. Make no mistake though, that run for Dad was appalling, and he's in trouble unless things vastly improve.
Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
As well as holding on to a top 6 position by Christmas, our form in Europe was very good too, and we were enjoying ourselves in the competition's league phase, winning all 6 of our fixtures and finishing top of the league, scoring 21 goals. When January came, things did improve for Dad on the pitch anyway, because although the signings were very much just youth prospects again, the form in the league really improved, and a run of wins helped Sampdoria climb to 13th place. Depending on how you look at it, my window was a little bit more exciting. £3.2 million was spent on one player. It's just unfortunately on a 33-year-old defender. However, we once again lose our best midfielder that we signed from Parma in a January window. And as February came to a close, we faced Dad again at home, this time where he pulled off a 2-0 win. And the gap between our two sides became ever so closer as we look into the European knockouts, which began with an easier tie against Turkish side Gaziantep FK, who we battered 5-0 both home and away. The quarterfinals though was a bit tricky as we faced Gladbach of Germany and won the first leg in Barry 1-0. However, our hopes of European trophy was ended in the second leg as we went to Gladbach and lost to a 91st minute winner. And as for the remainder of the season, both of our sides just didn't have much to play for. Well, mid-table finish for me.
Yeah.
14th for you, Dad. Couldn't get any further than the quarterfinals. It was Gladbach, who I mentioned probably being the hardest one in there. They didn't even go on to win it though. Midtjylland went on to win it from Denmark. They who did they beat in the final? So they went on to beat Gladbach in the final 1-0. So got as far as the quarterfinal. I thought that would be good for finances. It wasn't. We're still in the red, and we still only got £1.6 million in the transfer budget again. So I'm a little concerned, I must admit. I thought things wouldn't be this bad early on. I mean, the wages have gone up. And remember, that's not me doing this. This is obviously the director of football offering wages. We are trying to sell players. It's just not working. I don't want to sell Joe Carvalho, but I feel like I might have to at some point. He could be my only saving grace of getting any transfer budget going forward. 100% of the transfer budget if we do sell him. So I don't want to, but it's always an option. He does, however, have a minimum fee release clause of 17 million for anybody who's in the Champions League. So he only just signed this deal. So I don't know what to do quite yet. There's a couple of players that I am looking at possibly selling, but I mean, we are struggling really, aren't we, in terms of Serie A? We're not really getting any progress.
No.
And getting ourselves further up the table, especially anywhere close to the top 4.
Nowhere near it. I mean, with the signings that we're taking in as well, we're not going to get anywhere near it, neither are we? We're not sort of building. I mean, all right, I was nearly 20 points clear, but it was at one stage of the season I was in there.
Yeah.
I was down there, yeah.
Knocking around in 19th place for a little bit.
I was lucky. I had a really good sort of mid-season go at it again and kept me up there. So I got me right out of it, really. So I'm not too disappointed with the finishing with the squad I've got, but yeah, we've got to try and get rid of some players and hopefully the director of football gets some decent ones in, I think.
Yeah. I was actually top for a little bit.
Yeah.
Match day 7 and 8, sat top of the league, absolutely loving life. And then the down 4 going into 8th and then eventually 10th. That's kind of disappointing, isn't it? It was a very mirror image of what you were doing by the looks of it.
It actually is, isn't it? Yeah.
So that's a shame, but there we go. Maybe another season we might be all right. Who knows? But only Joe Carvalho has got his name on there in the good version of the player statistics. We've got Barbieri and Edu Sanchez, and I think both our left backs. My right back, your left back.
Yeah.
Who's picking up a lot of yellow cards. But yeah, I mean, Dad, you managed to get to the third round of the Coppa Italia before meeting Roma, so that's a shame, but never mind. And your transfer budget for next season, you got another £20 million, so you do have money.
I'm not going to argue. I've got the money, but it's what the players that he's bringing in. I mean,
yeah,
where he thinks they're going to go, they're definitely not going to go into the first team. So I just don't know.
Again, a lot of free transfers coming in. And nobody who's like any good.
You can't even look that sort of thing. Oh, they'll be ready in the season or two because they won't.
No. My January window. I mean, let's have a look at it. It's again, there were a few players. And actually, some of them, I mean, Thilo Kehrer is not a bad player to bring in, but it wouldn't be somebody that I would go, I'm going to bring him in. I mean, I'm pretty sure I could find £2.9 million to spend way better than a 33-year-old who is sort of losing all of his attributes.
I think that's the problem as well. The players that we are spending money on, they're old players.
Yeah, they're bringing in older players. You don't get anything for them. I mean, Carlos Cuesta, again, from Torino, another centre-back, 31. Again, we're just never going to really be using these players. No. So it's a struggle at the minute. And I also lost Amir Richardson throughout the window as well.
That's a bad loss as well, isn't it?
14 million. Where's that gone?
You haven't seen it, have you?
No. I mean, that's the trouble. We've got another...
to the 100% of...
We've got another player coming in who's a defence midfielder, but he's nowhere near the standard of Amir Richardson. So, you know, we're losing players for a lot of money, and we're only spending £2.9 million on a player which doesn't even replace him. So, yeah, tricky. I don't quite know what's going to happen. But obviously, we've got to spin the wheel and see if I do have another option, and hopefully this time I can pick a little bit wiser, bring in a player that I actually can sign, and the same with yourself, Dad. Obviously, you managed to get the last signing with Mia Dink, but he was probably your best player as well. He got 16 league goals. So, I mean, he actually got 17 last season, 25 in the Serie B the season before that. So he is a goal scorer. He knows the Italian leagues quite well.
I'm pleased with that signing, yeah.
He was the only one, though, because Nasty did not get a lot of goals.
That's a big one for disappointing Nasty, really, because I put him more into his favourite position of an advance forward, and he let me down this season, really.
Yeah. I mean, he's wanted by Torino, and he's about £45 million. You do get 100%. It would be tempting in some ways just to stick him on the...
It could be something... I mean, if I get like a free signing and I can bring in a really good striker again, I could let him go then, can I? And make a good bit of money on him, really, and then just see... But he's Italian as well, and that helps. So, it's, you know... I don't know. I'm tempted to keep him because he is Italian.
Yeah, just to keep in line with the homegrown status. Max Meerdink's also wanted, though. You could get rid of him instead. He's 30 million.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
It's one of these ideas.
I don't want to cash in on a player like that for 30 million and let my director of football just totally waste it.
That's the trouble. That is the trouble. All right, then. Well, we got to spin the wheel and see what our destiny is going to be for season number 8. Well, I spanned last time, so it's your turn to go first this time round. The wheel is going to give you one transfer of your choice.
Oh, that's a big one for me, isn't it?
That's lucky.
Yeah.
That is lucky. I could do with exactly the same. No, my luck. Oh, I've got no money anyway, so it doesn't exactly matter. But one free transfer will be the one that I would need. You got it. Right. Oh, God, for that. All right, one free transfer. I've just got to pick slightly better than what I did last season. Going into season 8 then, I decided to bring in a midfielder as my free transfer target in Robert Wagner, who was at Manchester City. Dad chose to spend a big portion of his budget on Sassuolo's 21-year-old defensive midfielder, and he was once again replacing the director of football, bringing in Michael Edwards instead. And the good news kept on rolling as Pellegrino signs for Sampdoria for an £18.5 million fee. Soon after, Robert Wagner was a Barry player too on a free transfer. I continued to put players on the unwanted list, and this season it was Ola Solbakken. And although he was eventually sold for a nice little profit, the worst thing then happened soon after, as Atletico put in a bid that my director of football accepted for £26 million with Joe Carvalho, and we lost our star man. And because of transfer business this summer, a new system was needed to fit the players that we have at our club. Dad's trying a new system too, but it's hard to tell how he's doing as he faces both Milan sides in the opening 2 fixtures. Well, Joe Carvalho, he's gone. I'm devastated, really. It's going to happen eventually.
Yeah.
But 235k sold for £26 million.
Good business. Really.
Barely spent any of it. Now, 100% transfer revenue, but by the looks of it, after £11 million, only gets 60% of it, which is the reason why I've still only got like £10 million in the bank. But he decided not to spend it. I mean, you can see there's transfers happening on deadline day, but they were all out. So he didn't go for any of the players. So, yeah, we brought in a lot of players, but they were mostly free transfers that we won't use. So I got Robert Wagner in, which is great. That's the free transfer that I went for. Then we've got just, again, it's a lot of players we do not need. F.A. Lucky was the only one that I looked and thought, that's a good deal. That was a good deal. I mean, Ben Johnson and Simon Som, again, 2 free transfers, which is it's not bad. Lucas Masic for 64k, which was like an attacking midfielder. Again, not a bad signing. The rest of it is awful. And when you've got £36 million going out and you spend a total of 2.5 million with it just sat there doing nothing, it's so frustrating that you just cannot touch it. But there we go. Couldn't do anything. So I've had to change around my tactic because you didn't replace the striker. So we've gone back to a 1-striker formation. And even then, Muniz is actually out for 2 to 3 months. So we're going to be really struggling for a striker for the first part of the season. We just got to hope that our attacking midfielders actually produce some goals right now. We've got a lot of centre midfielders though. 3 new ones all going in, which is the reason why I decided to go for that 3 defensive midfielder position. And normally it's quite good defensively. So let's hope that stays as it is and keeps being good defensively. He did also bring in a goalkeeper. However, we couldn't actually sign him because not enough non-EU slots. So that was a whoopsie as well. He's not had a good time with our new director of football that we brought in, Jonas Surfert. So, yeah, I'm questioning whether that was the right decision. Massimo Taibbi's lack of signings was the reason why he got the boot. This guy just seems to be stupid signings, spending just 2.5 million. So, I don't know. Dad, you had a bit of a better summer.
Yeah. I mean, I've done the same, Rich, as you did last season. I changed my director of football and I changed my assistant manager. I just wanted to change it up a bit and see what would happen of it. The player that I went for, I thought this is an absolutely, what a gem this could be for me. 22 years of age. He looks good in defensive midfielder player. And it's the one position where the player that I had there, I think, was 33, 34. So he was aging. So I really desperately needed someone good to be in that position. So I can forget about that position from now while we're on this challenge. He is really good. So I'm pleased with this signing.
Yeah, the rest of them, though, I mean, you got a couple of okay ones. Got a new goalkeeper again.
Yeah, I mean, another 34-year-old keeper. I got about 3 goalkeepers, all about the same age, all about the same quality. So
you almost sold Nubel to me.
Yeah,
the bid rejected, not by me, but there we go. You also brought this guy in. This is a great signing for 63k.
Yeah, I mean, this is one good signing that you get. Like I said in the other challenge that we were doing, you get sort of like 15 bad signings in one good signing. This is the one good signing, so. Never know. It might work for me.
He's 6'4". He looks quite good.
Yeah, I mean,
the rest of them were not.
I've got 2 strikers that are better than him. That's the only problem with them. But yeah, like you're saying, the other ones, I don't think they're going to get in my first team. So
no, but you did spend 23 million. Although 18 of it was you. You did spend 23 million. You have changed it from the diamond.
Yeah, I've changed it up. So me attacking defensive midfielder's gone right in on the. I can't remember what that position's called. Anchor position. So I put him into there really just to sort of really help the defence because I'm still not happy with the defence that I've got, but I can't change it. So we've given him a little bit more help and made the midfield bit more stronger, hopefully. So hopefully it'll be a better season for me, really. I've got the 2 strikers up to that striker who's come in, hasn't got into the team, so it's the same 2 strikers as last season. I thought they'd done well, though, really, so you never know.
All right, well, you haven't started the season very well. You're currently in 19th.
And I'm getting a bit of a pasting as well at the same time. But then I played the 2 Inter Milan and AC Milan, so I expected that. Getting a draw off Inter, I think that's a really good result at home.
Yeah.
But then AC can be an absolute hammering then.
And losing to Sassuolo isn't great.
And I bought one of their best players as well, so that isn't a good result.
There was the revenge. Myself, though, at the start of the season, hasn't been that much better. I have beaten Lecce 3-1, but then lost to Empoli at home, which is a poor one, and Atalanta away. So again, we're both struggling. We're both at a point where we are waiting for this next crop of players to come through, which will make a big difference. And it ain't happening at the minute. This is why this challenge is absolutely brutal, because we are struggling. I mean, the progression, it seems like there is 1 year, then we're back down, and then it's back up, and it's back down again. So, yeah, now that I've lost my best player, I don't know what I'm going to do without Joe Carvalho, because I even sold Solbakken, who, that was planned. I wanted to sell Solbakken because he was a Norwegian, not because he was Norwegian, because he was 31 years. I was looking at the 31 and saying Norwegian. He was 31 years of age, so it was the right time to sell him for the right money, and I was getting away from using the wingers. £8.75 million when we got him on a free transfer is not too bad at all, especially because last season he didn't play that many games either. He had a bit of an injury. The season before, he had 19 assists. It was a huge drop off. So getting £8 million for him at age 31, yeah, I was happy with, but just not replacing them has been the trouble for me.
Yeah.
So, all right, well, let's see what happens in season number 8. It was another September clash between our two sides, and it was another Sampdoria win in Genoa, as Dad's side secured a 2-0 win. And his form continued into the winter months across the first half of the season, as Sampdoria sat in 7th place with Barry in 11th. Money was finally spent in January, but not on a striker, and instead 2 very different age left-backs, which wouldn't have been my first choice to replace. As well as the league fixtures, we also played each other in the Coppa Italia quarter-final, where in 6 minutes the score was 1-1. It ended, however, with just 1 more goal as my Barry side progressed to the semi-finals. And just a few weeks later, we are picking up another win over Dad in the league, this time round, as we secured a 3-1 win. Despite facing Milan, though, we did our best to come away in the first leg of the Coppa Italia semi-final with a 2-2 result. And in an 8-goal thriller, the second leg was a barnstorming match where we somehow pulled off a 6-2 win to go through to the Coppa Italia final to play Napoli. League-wise, it was really close between both our sides, and with just 4 games remaining, we sat next to each other. The cup final, though, and I just hoped to stay in the game for as long as possible. Napoli did score right on the stroke of half-time, though, but we pulled it back level, and the game went all the way to a penalty shootout, where unfortunately, with the score at 8-7, a penalty was eventually saved in sudden death by a Barry player. Oh, the cup final. If that was a win, it would have been a great season.
Yeah.
But a penalty loss to Napoli, which is absolutely devastating. And we only missed 1 penalty as well, so it was an 8-7 penalty shootout. Very disappointing and a bit unlucky. But we are so mid-table it hurts.
It's unbelievable.
10th and 11th place. We actually finished above Napoli.
Yeah.
Who then obviously get European football because of that cup win, which is really frustrating. But
I think that's the best. When you look at the teams above us, there's 2 teams there you'd think, oh, they shouldn't be above us, but they are. But the rest of the teams, you think there's no way you're gonna finish better than them
at this point. No.
Yeah.
I mean, we finish above Napoli and Atalanta, 2 teams that you'd hope would get close to, but they're normally above you. But Cagliari, Empoli, even to some extent Torino, at this point we should be above them, and we're just nowhere near.
No.
Just nowhere near, and it isn't getting better for me anyway, because we've only got £1.58 million in the budget. Finances are £7 million in the red, and again, it's the same situation. We've got 100%, but when it's 7 million or more, it then goes down to 60, which is really annoying that that's even in there. And my top scorer of the season had 12 goals. Rodrigo Muniz, who of course missed the start of the season, only got 12 goals. F.A. Lucky got 9. He actually had an alright season, as did this guy, who is only a 2-star player, come from my youth academy, I think, or we signed him ages ago. No, it is from the youth academy, and he's actually got a lot of game times because we've changed to that to attacking midfielders. Hadn't developed very well, which is a shame. Doesn't look like he ever will either, but he's actually had an alright season. If we can find another player for that position, we might stand a good chance next year. But right now, I can't see us buying anybody good enough because we just don't simply have the money. Over to you, though, Dad. It's looking a little bit more promising.
Yeah. I mean, I had a fair average sort of season. I finished higher than I did last season, so I've got to be happy, really.
Both strikers in double
16,
figures.
Yeah, 16 goals from Nasty, so I'm quite happy with that, really. He had a poor season last season, I felt, so he upped it up this season. But, yeah.
I mean, 22 million.
22 million. It's just... I've just hoped that I get the same on the wheel again, that I can buy the player, because that player, for me, buying that player was outstanding for me, I think. So, yeah, if it's left to the director, you just know he's going to waste it, so...
That's it. Well, there's only one way to find out. We'll spin the wheel and see what the outcome is. All right, I'm spinning the wheel first. This time round, to be honest, with the £1 million that I've got, don't really know what's good or no. One transfer choice.
It's the best one on the wheel, but obviously you got the money to do it, haven't you, really?
Yeah, I might even hold out and wait until see if I've got a bit of a budget in July, and then maybe go for somebody, because right now it's not a good amount of options, is it, with the money that I've got? So let's spin it for you and see. I mean, you haven't had the green one yet. You've done very well to avoid that. You have. You've definitely got it now. Yes. So the director of football will be in charge of all of your transfers in the summer.
Over with, then.
£22 million still left in the bank by the end of the summer window, as probably expected.
15 freebies in.
And 15 new signings that you'll never see ever play for the club. Lovely stuff. But if you make sure you do not miss the next episode to see what happens, subscribe to the channel, because it'll be out soon. Recently, in season 7 and 8, we were gutted to lose Joel Carvalho after our director of football sold him to Atletico Madrid for £26 million.
Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
And while Dad's director of football wasn't finding gems like Carvalho for Sampdoria, he was also not selling his best players either. However, it sort of evened itself out as we finished the 8th season in 10th and 11th position. The wheel was harsh on Dad, but allowed me to make another bid for whoever I wanted to, and I took a risk on a player who is way more expensive than my budget, but through installments, I can get a deal accepted by St. Pauli. And the risk paid off as I signed Chris Bergeron, an 18-year-old American striker, to come play for me at Barry next season. Dad had to rely solely on his director of football this summer, and he was overjoyed when he signed a French left winger, Voilemon, from Nantes for a total of £27 million. Another summer, though, where a couple of my first team players are allowed to leave, accumulating over £10 million. But with the season underway, I'm just hoping that Bergeron and Muniz can develop a nice little partnership up front, in which my dad has a very similar feeling with his new £20 million man from the wings providing the goods for Nasty and Meerdink. Right, Dad, after another weird transfer window,
Yes.
I sold F.A. Lucky. This is a centre defensive midfielder, and not really replaced him, because that doesn't seem logical to do. Why would you do that? Now, the player that I brought in, I am really happy with. We've got Chris Bergeron. Obviously, I had a player of my choice. We did it a lot in installments, but for the price that we actually paid, I think he's fantastic. Only 19 years of age. He's American, but come through the St. Pauli Youth Academy. £6.25 million in total. That's a bargain.
Yep.
Mentally, he's fantastic. Technically, he's really good. Need to work on his pace acceleration, but other than that, left-footed, comes deep to get balls. He's more of like a playmaking striker because he's got 14 for passing and vision. I think he could be absolutely superb, and his value's already gone up to 43 to 61 million. So expect to see me selling for 20 million next year.
I just better say that.
But Chris has joined the club. Now, the rest of the signings, as I mentioned, wasn't amazing. The best one, I think, is Ioannidis, who is another decent striker. 31 years of age, though. He's got 14 natural fitness, so he won't decline stupidly fast, but won't exactly be there for the long run. But he is an okay striker. He got 49 goals at PAOK while he was there, and he got 14 last season. Hasn't got any for me this season just yet. Luis Gomez for just less than £1 million as a centre-back option. Then we've got Samuel Monaco, who is a new-gen right midfielder, probably won't play. And Joaquin is the last one from Arsenal. Again, all right player, but nothing special really. So tactically, we're setting up in a 4-3-1-2. Bergeron is being locked into that left side of striker. So if we went best 11, he does actually stay there. But up front with Rodrigo Muniz, Masek in behind Wagner and Ariel and Som. Gomez actually goes in, surprisingly. So yeah, I don't know about this season. I'm kind of hoping Bergeron can carry us. But if we're looking at your transfer window, you've got one who's on loan but will join permanently.
Yeah,
in James Flanagan.
That's not too bad. That's for a 23-year-old, I'm quite happy with this one. Really, left back. So yeah, looks a good one.
Yeah, but then he spent all of the money on one player. Bloody good player though.
Oh, I've got to take my hat after him this time. He's gone to Nantes and he's found this guy for me a good winger.
Yeah. 23
again. He can use both feet as well, so he can cut in if he wants to. But he certainly knows how to cross the ball and dribble the ball, but he knows where the back of the net is as well. He can finish as well, so he could be dangerous.
He could be very good.
So I'm hoping that he doesn't do what your director of football does and sells the best player, and I hope he keeps him for a few seasons.
Yeah, absolutely. Very good player, 6'2" as well, so a bit of a physical player as well from that left-hand side. Can play up front should you really need him to, but yeah, from the left he's excellent. Travato was another player that they signed. Again, probably never going to see him. Adam Gabriel on a free transfer is not a bad right-back option. It's good physicals.
It's not bad, but they're just doing the mistake of signing the old players. You know, we're in it for the long haul, and they're signing 30-year-olds for us, aren't they?
He's not.
What's going on?
Stop the cap.
Thomas Vicic, 64, centre-back, another Czech 30-year-old.
Yeah.
Then we got Radilovic on a free transfer who plays on both wings. This guy's all right.
He's all right, but you just spent 27 million on a left winger, so he's going to have to go to the right wing, isn't he? So,
yeah.
I mean, he'd do a good job over there, but he's permanently left foot, so he's going to be cutting in all the time, isn't it? So
yeah. And then obviously the James Flanagan deal. Going out, you had like the likes of Joachim Andersen, who's gone on a free transfer. So Nubel is also left the club, the goalkeeper. So there's been a few players who have left, but only 600k was brought in. And tactically, you've gone for this 4-1-3-2 formation. So on the left-hand side, Voilemin.
Yep, you got it.
Has gone on the left-hand side there. Poplic is still on the right, but obviously you just signed the other guy who can play there.
Yeah.
Nasty and Mirdick still up front though.
Yeah, Nasty's still doing the job for me up there, so I'm not going to change him. Yeah, so going forward, we're not too bad. So just hopefully the defence will be a little bit better this season.
Yeah, schedule at the start of the season, you've actually done quite well actually. So 5-3 against Roma, 1-0 against Atalanta.
Two good results there, really.
And then rescued a draw.
Yeah, you got to take that now and again.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm happy with the start that I've had.
Okay, well, let's see, because I haven't had too great of a start in comparison, but it still hasn't been bad. We lost to Hellas Verona in the Cup, which is disappointing. Out on the first round of Coppa Italia. We then got absolutely battered by Cagliari. Then we played Udinese. We got 3-1 win there with Rodrigo Muniz scoring a hat-trick and only a 1-0 against Torino. So this is really hard to tell whether it's going to be a good season for me or not.
You've got 3 hard games coming up next as well, really.
Exactly, yeah. This is where it all goes downhill.
Yeah.
Season preview still puts me down in 15th. The bottom half puts you in 9th. So that's not too bad. There's a lot of Inter Milan players in there, and there's one guy up front who looks unbelievable.
Whoa.
Yeah, so...
What's my 23-year-old look like that?
Yeah, exactly. So, let's see then. This season, after not a bad season last year, but nothing special happened, 2 great signings has been made. What is their impact going to be? Chris Bergeron shone in his first 6 months at the club. His intelligence to drop deep when needed was absolutely crucial in our build-up play. And when he couldn't play, we really missed him. Like against Dad, where, let's be fair, this was a goalkeeping howler. but at least we managed to pull off an equaliser to take home a point. There was only 4 points between us going into January, and Dad was sat in 5th place after a great start. And while Voilman was still contributing well, it was Dad's right midfielder who was shining in the new year, as Cyprian Popovic was scoring some really crucial goals and picking up a lot of points for Sampdoria. However, in the returning fixture against my Barry side, Chris Bergeron was back and he scored the only goal of the game. He even missed a penalty to score a second, but at least that didn't matter, although Dad is still above me in the table and currently sat in 4th spot, which is exactly where Dad's Sampdoria side finish up after a fantastic season in the Serie A. Right, well, that was a great season.
Wow.
For both of us.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. Those two good signings done a world of good for us, really.
Yeah. I mean, 4th place for you, Dad. You've got Champions League football next season. Things are looking up.
Yes.
Very good.
I mean, Inter Milan going unbeaten. That's
I'm not
110
surprised.
points. They just walked the league, didn't they?
With that striker scoring 23 goals, but then also the one underneath scoring 20, who isn't too bad either from centre midfield. I mean, that's absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
But fair play.
76 points. I'm going to take that every day of the week.
Yeah. We've got Chris Bergeron there with the most man of the matches. I am buzzing with that. And look how bloody good he is now.
Does look good, doesn't he?
Absolutely fantastic player. So, yeah, I finished in 6th place. Very happy with that, with 60 points in total. Obviously, you only lost 6 games all season, Dad, which is second best if you look at it, really.
Yeah.
So, not bad at all. I did beat you in one.
I've got to look at that. I mean, I've lost.
You lost Inter twice.
Inter twice, and the other Milan and Juventus. So, the 3 good sides I've lost to.
Yeah.
So, I've got to take that. I'm really pleased with that. Good season.
I lost way more, but I did draw less, so that's the reason why I'm not too far down the table, which isn't so bad. Obviously, I was at the competition in the Coppa Italia very early on. Dad only in the 2nd round, so cup-wise, not fantastic. If we're looking at how they perform, though, Max Meerdink got 19, Nasty got 18, the new guy, Voilman, got 12 goals and 13 assists.
Yeah.
He was excellent.
Good
and
first
he's developing
season.
quite well.
Good first season, yeah. Pleased with that.
Yeah, really good. So, transfer budget. You got £42 million to spend in the summer window.
Yep. Hope I can spend it.
Yeah. You've also brought in a couple of players already. Now, James Flanagan's also joining on a permanent, $4.4 million. Lakyle Samuel is leaving the club, so he's going out. But Ben Doak is coming in. He's only 26. He looks very good for a free transfer.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
So that's a good sign for Sampdoria for next season. Let's see on my side of things then. We have got no players was out, but I did sign somebody during the January window, of course. Ordinos, who was another Ecuadorian centre-back this time round. Nothing special, though. Now, squad-wise, we've got 13 goals from Bergeron, who was the top scorer. And as you can see, he is now easily my best player. He's phenomenal talent. But Rodrigo Muniz got 12 goals across the whole season. And remember, 3 of them was in one game. So only 9 goals outside of that. Doesn't seem too great after that. Ioannidis only got 7 with 4 assists, but he didn't play that many. So we are struggling for goals, it seems, going into this summer. £12 million. Europa League and £12 million. Will he do anything, or will we have to rely on the wheel? Let's spin the wheel. All right, Dad, a spin of the wheel. You're first this time round.
Yep.
So let's see which one you get. Is it going to be green again?
No.
It is. It's Director of Football. For 2 seasons in a row, you haven't been able to sign anyone.
I'm not going to say too much too early because he bought a really good player last season, so he could do it again.
He might. But the chances are he
won't.
Probably won't. All right, with a spin of the wheel then. Let's see which one I get for this upcoming season. Add to the transfer target. Take it.
Yeah.
God. Before I even looked for a target, I decided to try and make some money, and Ricardo Muniz could be my sacrificial lamb. Although nobody bit on him, and I did manage to sell 2 players, allowing me to build up enough of a budget to go for the player my scouts found that I really wanted to bring to Barry. A defensive midfielder from Ukraine called Lysenko, and I added him to my transfer targets. And this was going to be the first task of the new director of football, Sam Ellis, after recruiting him earlier in the summer in replacement for my former director of football. A task that he lived up to, and it wasn't long before he was putting in a transfer bid for Lysenko. And it was a pass with flying colours as Lysenko signs for Barry for £16 million and instantly excites our midfield. Sam Ellis' first signing of the window, hilariously though, wasn't Lysenko. It was in fact Andre Carvalho, who he signed from Dad. He wasn't the only one of Dad's players to be sold, however, as Delabasic moved to Forest, while Dad's best midfielder, Palelio, was picked up by Liverpool for a whopping £60 million plus add-ons. That being said, Dad's director of football did spend the money. It was just on defenders such as Ed Turns and a striker like Danny Namaso, who did start quite well. And speaking of starting well, Chris Bergeron scored in all of 4 of the opening fixtures of the season for me. Right, so some bad transfers happened for you at the end of that transfer window, Dad. You didn't have time to react.
No.
I did. I saved my transfer until the middle of July. And then I seen Altai come in for Simon Som, who was my centre defensive midfielder. And I thought, right, well, that's obviously where I've got to strengthen my side. So Yaroslav Lysenko came in soon after, the Ukrainian centre defensive midfielder. And he is absolutely mustard, I think.
Yep.
Only 21, going for £16 million.
Good signing.
I'm really happy with it. A couple of other transfers that they did make. Andre Carvalho, we signed from you. Thank you for that.
You don't know the rules. We don't
know
buy
the
from
rules.
each other.
We don't, no. Then we got Alejandro Ramirez for £7 million from Elche. Probably £7 million wasted, if I'm honest. Although he does play naturally in 3 positions, probably won't be a signing that I would have spent £7 million on. Ethan Ampadu on a free transfer has joined the club. That's not a bad signing, though.
He's not a bad player.
Yeah, that's all right. Plays naturally in defensive mid or centre-back. And then we finally got Remy Erb, who was on loan to buy. Very much like what your signing was last year from Chelsea. Again, this is a centre-back who, he's all right. Nothing special, really. So tactically, going into, of course, the Europa League next season, we are sticking with the same formation. We've now got Lysenko and Bergeron. For 2 seasons in a row, I've been able to sign somebody who has really helped our lineup. So I'm hoping for big things this year. Lysenko coming in as our new player this year. I think if it wasn't for Simon Som going, I would have gone for a defender. I don't think my defenders are very good, but I think having that 3 in midfield was more important for me this season. And we started really well from it. 3-1 against Hellas Verona. Cagliari 3-0. Frosinone 2-1 with a nice 92nd minute winner from Chris Bergeron. He also scored against Salernitana in a 2-2 draw. As we mentioned, Europa League football. We've got some tough fixtures, of course, but some games that I think we might be able to qualify from.
Yeah, you think you'd be right there.
Yeah, I think so. Monaco's going to be tricky. Maybe Shakhtar, we just took their player. We should be all right. As you said, Dad, speaking of defensive midfielders, you didn't have time to react. Pelio, well, you didn't have a chance to react because you couldn't sign anyone.
No.
But you're the director of football, who was former
what's he doing?
Liverpool director of football.
Yeah.
And that's funny, isn't it?
Something's going on here, isn't it? A little backhander there, I think.
Exactly. Sold Ricardo Palelio to Liverpool. A lot of
Look at
money
the
as
value
well.
now, 121 million. So he's just doubled by going to Liverpool.
Yeah.
How do you work that out?
£60 million he was sold for. Delabasic also went to the Premier League with Nottingham Forest. So he's gone for 14 million.
That's 2 of my best players gone.
Yeah.
And what's his time for it?
Ben Doak, which isn't bad. I mean, Aaron Maguire, free transfer goalkeeper. Not
I thought you
amazing.
said Harry Maguire then. I thought, no.
Danny Damaso from Porto. He's not
that's
bad.
not a bad signing, but when you think my best player is my left winger, so he's not going to play left wing.
No, he'll play there or up front.
Yeah, so... Yeah.
Then we got Jan Ballard, who is a PSG Youth Academy guy.
He's not bad for 20.
He's all right.
Yeah,
It's
he
his
knows where the net.
physicals
Yeah,
that lets him
he
down.
build on that, but he knows where the net is. So hopefully he'll be all right for me.
Natural fitness of 9 as well.
Yeah, that's a bit bad, isn't it?
Pascal Struijk, £16 million, a lot of money for a 33-year-old defender.
Yeah, here we go again into the 30s, isn't it? So I'm not going to say nothing. I'm getting crucified for saying everything over 30 is old. So I'm going to go to 35. He's a youngster at 33.
And then Ed Turns from Napoli.
Oh, this guy's not going to turn anybody's head, really. I don't think so.
I think he's better than Pascal Struijk.
Yeah,
I mean, he can't
prob-
jump,
he
but
probably is. But And he's two-footed, so I can play him left centre or right centre. So that's not too bad, I don't think so.
He's played for Napoli. He's played for Fiorentina. So he's been playing in the league already. He's all right.
Not too bad. I'll give him a 5 out of 10 for that signing.
All right. Well,
he is. I mean, last season he signed with a really good winger, so I ain't going to grumble too much.
Well, tactically this season, Dad, you're sticking with what you got into the Champions League with.
Yes.
If you pick the best 11, Del Prato actually slots into that role which you just sold the defensive midfielder from. Not a great. That's not ideal.
No, not really. No.
But yeah, none of the new players are making a massive impact to your team outside of Pascal Struijk, who goes in in the defence. Outside of that, nobody. Everybody else is just on the bench.
Everything's just stayed the same really going forward, isn't it?
Yeah.
Top 5 are all the same. So yeah, not a great transfer window, I don't think.
Schedule then to start the season. You lost 2 games already, 1 to Fiorentina, 1 to Atalanta, 2-1 and 2-0. But you did beat Parma 3-0. Ben Doak and Namaso, who weren't even in that team, both scoring there.
Yeah.
Max Meerdink got 4 goals against Lecce.
That's good for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, good for morale as well. But got a few more games coming up again then after that.
Well, you've also got Champions League fixtures.
So, yeah.
The first one to reach Champions League. Malmo is the first fixture. Then it's Benfica away. Real Madrid at home. Ending with an away trip to Manchester City and a home tie against Juve.
Yeah, not too easy really. So the Rangers game, I mean, going on past experience at the moment, easy game for me.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to qualify.
I think there's 5 games there that you could win.
Yeah. I don't know. I'll scrape. I could scrape in. I would say then.
Yeah.
It's right on the borderline. I think I'll be.
Okay then. Well, let's see. We got European football to contend with, which will only help our finances, and which of course will help our director of football have some money to spend in the summer next year. In a very entertaining game featuring 4 goals, both our sides came flying out of the gates when we played each other for the first time this season, and the score was 1-1 in just the 2nd minute of the match. But that Sampdoria side soon took control after Nasty's penalty, and after pushing for an equaliser, his new signing secured the win with a 3rd in the second half. The Europa League phase was a fun time until the final fixture for me when Shakhtar scored in the 96th minute to beat us and ultimately knocking us into 9th place to miss out on auto-qualifying for the round of 16. Surprisingly, Dad and his Sampdoria side was excellent in the Champions League phase and managed to do what we couldn't, qualify in the top 8 after only losing 2 games and winning 6, scoring a lot of goals along the way, including defeating Real Madrid at home 3-0. And the quality was shining through in the league as well, as they were currently fighting Fiorentina for a 3rd place finish going into February. With 2 wins over Portuguese sides, Braga and Porto, I found myself as well as Dad in the quarterfinals of European competition with German opposition, which is as far as Dad got, as unfortunately German champions Bayern Munich was too strong for him to overcome. And unfortunately for me, in the January window, defender Lewis Binks left the club to go to Aston Villa, which meant that we have a weaker defence, and the fact that Bergeron, who was developing into a monster of a player, missed the 2nd leg against Leipzig. And we couldn't hold on to our 1-goal lead from the first leg and lost 2-0 to also be eliminated at the same stage. And so our main aim is to get into Europe next season, which was going to be hard, especially when Dad's 3rd place side Sampdoria came to visit us on the final day of the season. So needing a win to have a small hope of finishing back in the Europa League spots, we were our own worst enemy, conceding in just the 3rd minute and never really got ourselves going, as Dad's side controlled the game so well and destroyed us being so clinical, winning the game 4-1. Well, that's back-to-back 2 good seasons.
I'm really pleased with that. Yeah, definitely. I'll have a look at, especially with Milan below me and just above you by 3 points. Really pleased with that season for me.
4th place, another Champions League spot for next year, which isn't bad at all. 75 points, very good. I got 63 with my Barry side. Fotis Ioannidis got 19 goals, which isn't too bad at all for him. So that's good. I expected Bergeron to be up there. I mean, how long is he going to stay now? He's wanted, he's unhappy.
Oh, that's it then, isn't it?
And he's got a £66 million release clause in there. So, yeah, this doesn't look great for us, unfortunately, which expires next year. So this summer and the January window, and then it's expired. But we all know we can't turn them down anyway, because it's all up to the director of football. So how long will he stay? That's the big question, unfortunately. So not a bad season for us.
My season was totally different, as in games lost and games drawn. Mine's totally the opposite way around.
Last year. But competitions, you got to the quarterfinals of the Champions League, only to be knocked out by Bayern Munich 4-1.
I'm going to take that. When you look at the teams that's there, I'm going to take that.
The fact that you didn't even think you were going to be progressing.
That's right,
Knocked out Leverkusen there, nice. It was 6-2, the knockout playoff round. You avoided because of your league phase getting to 4th place. 6 wins in total, beating Real Madrid 3-0 at home.
Get in.
So,
what a result that is.
5-1 as well, some big wins in there. Only losing to Man City and Benfica. A solid Champions League campaign.
Yeah, very good.
Very good indeed.
That's big surprise.
Yeah. You also got to the semi-final of the Coppa Italia, obviously, only being eliminated by Milan.
I'm disappointed that we're thinking AC finished below me in the league. I'm disappointed with that, really. So
2 great ties, both 5-4s. Inter go on to win the domestic double. Surprise, surprise with their players. And, of course, the quarter-final exit for me in the Europa League. Fortunately, Leipzig was the team. Round of 16, I was knocking out Porto, though, in a 6-5 epic. Leipzig actually went on to win it. I actually played in the playoff because knocked out Braga in that playoff, and the league phase just missed out by 1 point, which I would have finished higher than Nice as well with my goal difference, but I lost to Shakhtar. I drew too many games, won to Dinamo Kiev at home, which is probably the reason why. Also drawn to Monaco, but I won 5, which is nice. So, not bad. Leipzig go on to win it.
I think it's 2 good seasons in Europe for us.
Yeah, I agree. Money-wise, that's definitely going to help us. And obviously, we did, unfortunately, sell our best centre-back again in January and didn't replace him. So, we're going to be struggling again. We have £10 million to spend this summer, which isn't a lot. Ioannidis got the most goals with 25. Bergeron got 18 goals and 17 assists. Very good average rate in there. So, defensively is where we need to be looking at improving. Ordonis has actually developed into what they are classing as a good Serie A player. I would not look at him and go, that's a good Serie A player. So I don't know what my coaching team is smoking, thinking that he's a 3.5-star player, only a star behind Chris Bergeron when he looks that good.
Yeah.
No idea what they're thinking, but star ratings are always broken, of course. But let's have a look and see what you've got going on, Dad. So, goals-wise, 25 from Meerdink, Voileman, getting it wrong every time. 18 for him, but Namaso, what a first season he has.
Yes.
15 goals and 16 assists from Danny Namaso. That's really good.
Pleased with that, yeah.
So, that's solid. And transfer budget for you got £40 million.
I'm happy with that. If I can get my hands on it.
So that's not too bad at all going into the summer. Of course, all to do was spinning the wheel as to whether Dan can spend it himself or is it all up to his director of football, Michael Edwards, for another summer. So I'm spinning first this time round, going into season number 11. And it's going to be 1 free transfer, which isn't bad considering my budget.
Yeah.
But I know the damage I can do when I've got just even a little bit of budget, finding players like Bergeron. So it's better than nothing.
Picking a player. Yeah, I've had nothing the last 2 seasons.
It's the third best choice on the wheel. Let's spin the wheel for you then, Dad. Are you finally going to make a transfer after 2 seasons without? It's going to be 1 transfer of your choice. That's the best one on there. So there we go. You get to make yourself a nice little transfer. So make sure you are subscribed because that episode will be coming out very soon when Dan can finally get his hands on a transfer that he gets to decide himself rather than relying on his ever-reliable director of football. The last couple of seasons, the spin has been very generous to me and allowed me to find both Lysenko and Bergeron. 2 fantastic players that have vastly improved my Barry side in the Serie A. Despite having to rely a lot on his director of football though, Dad has welcomed some fantastic players recently as well. None more so than Antonin Voileman, who joined from the French league. And that has helped Dad once again finish above me in the Serie A and beating me twice in the league last season. The most recent spin of the wheel meant that Dad could sign whoever he wanted, and he chose a French defensive midfielder from Lille in Didier Charles. While I had a free transfer pick and Uriel Hatta was sat there, and I snapped him right up in his prime from Al Hilal in Saudi Arabia. Dad also got his man through the door and instantly improved his defensive midfield. But heartbreak, as Chris Bergeron, after 2 great seasons, leaves the club as my director of football accepted a huge £54 million bid from Real Madrid for the young American striker. And I was already concerned with how we would cope without him, especially if my director of football doesn't bring in a replacement. The early fixture against Dad was like we never needed him though, especially in the first 18 minutes of the match, as we smashed home a 3-2 win after being 3-0 up on the 18th minute. Dad was also gutted that his director of football sold his midfielder and one of his better players too. But his replacement that he already brought in was filling the void very well early on. Well, it was only a matter of time, Dad.
Yeah,
he was unhappy. He wanted to leave. He's gone.
Well, Real Madrid come calling. There you go, don't they?
Yeah. It was a good time, though, we had with him. It was a short time, but it was a good time. Just £8 million brought him in, sold him for £54 million. And it's a shame that we've obviously not spent the budget that we were given after that. Because why would we? I mean, the transfer only got made in, when was it? Like July?
Beginning of July, something like that?
Middle of July.
Yeah.
Near the end of July. We had a whole month, nearly 6 weeks to do something with that money. No. £40 million just sat there rotting. We did replace a striker with Sergio Chirico. Nowhere near the standard, of course, of Bergeron, but at least he's brought somebody in, I guess. He's Italian. We've got Garmendia from Torino as well, a good goalkeeper. Then we've got Nathaniel Brown at left back. Obviously, not a bad play. He's 30 years of age, though. Good physical still. Remy Herb was a permanent deal, which was obviously the loan from last year. Still haven't replaced the centre-back yet. Until Jurel Hato. So that was my free transfer that I decided to bring in. The left-sided centre-back that I brought in on a free. I'm really happy with that, to be honest. Used to play for Chelsea as well. A lot of Chelsea he's been coming up quite often. So, yes, he's 28. So, he's right in his prime. He can play left-back, can play left-wing-back, or left centre-back. Very well. International for the Netherlands. So, a good signing, I thought.
Very good.
Very pleased to get that one in.
It's nice to get a free player, on a free transfer that's that good.
Yeah. Tactically, then, we're sticking with what we have. We've got a couple of players who can play in that DLF role. Nobody special. We've got Aligi, who I think came through our youth academy, or did we sign him ages ago? We did. It was a free transfer a long time ago, but he's actually getting game time now. He's all right. He can't finish. He's got okay composure. Just nowhere near the standard. Yeah, he's fast. That's literally about it, really. So we're going to be relying heavily on Ioannidis and hopefully Chirico off the bench to score us some goals this season. And scheduled at the start of the season, we've played Dad, and it's been our only real good result, unfortunately. We've qualified for the Europa Conference League, which we had to do. We've lost the other 3 games, albeit it was against Inter Milan, Juve, and Torino. But we did manage to beat Dad 3-2, which I'll take. That's a good result. Yeah. We've got Europa Conference League. It's a chance to win a European competition. We've got AZ Alkmaar, Radnici, Stromsgodset, AIK, Young Boys, and Konyaspor. So if you're looking at the competition itself, Fenerbahce, maybe. Oh, Lyon. Bournemouth
can be good, yeah.
Yeah, Bournemouth could be good. There could be some tricky teams.
You got a good chance, really, but there's a lot of teams the same level as you, I would say, as well. Isn't there?
I agree, yeah. But will he end up selling more players and struggling that way? I mean, our only best player now is probably Lysenko, I imagine. Another guy that, and Jurel Hato. And Robert Wagner. Guess what? I signed all 3 of them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it really tells you how bad our director of footballs have been with that £43 million just sat there waiting. Dad, let's look at yours. You had a bit of a better summer, although right near, in the middle of it, Sheen has left the club, gone for £30 million.
He was my regular
centre-mid.
Centre-mid, so I'm a bit disappointed about losing him, but it's 30 million, it's 30 million, isn't it? So
yeah. You did bring in a defender, or defensive midfielder, sorry, but it was replacing the one that he sold last year.
Yes, right, yeah.
In Palelio. Obviously, he left in last August, so you've signed Didier Charles, which was your chosen player to bring in.
Yeah, really pleased.
And he's really good. Yeah, that's a good decision from you.
Yeah, pleased with that one.
Fantastic signing. £40 million, a lot of money, but
come through PSG, so very good, yeah.
A couple of other players that you got in, which go into your first team. Stepanovic might play a few games in that defensive midfielder role. Faris on a free transfer up front could feature. Again, he's not bad.
No.
Philip Schultz is another goalkeeper, probably won't play. But Mendes Dudninski might play. I mean, he has been your first choice goalkeeper by the looks of it so far.
This director of football is like me, like Sonic goalkeepers.
He does. But the best sign-in is Isaac Pereira, who from Boca Juniors, or Pereira, a really good right midfielder.
Yes.
Only 20.
So
good potential.
Yeah, I could be using this guy on the right side of it, and which I've struggled on, I feel.
Yeah.
He's a
3-star player there. You got Ben Doak, who's also there. Who's,
Let them two fight it out, I think. I'm not going to lock one in because I could be criminal really if I do that. But I still not. I mean, I'm doing well in the league, which I'm surprised. When you look at that team, I don't want to change it because the guys up front, they're doing me the business. And the left winger is really good. So hopefully they do it again this season. I'll settle for fourth again this season if I can get it.
Yeah. Start of the season, obviously outside of the loss that you had to me, you've actually started really well. So beating Juve 1-0 at Juve with Didier Schall scoring.
Cracking result, yeah.
So really good. Lecce is also a nice little 4-1 win. Salernitana, a nice comfortable 2-0 win after scoring the first minute, which is always good.
Yeah.
But you've got Champions League football again, which is great for the finances. Inter's in there. Porto, PSV, Man City. I think you should go through that.
I'm hoping I do, yeah.
Especially after last year's results.
Yes. Yeah, if you look at what I've done in the Champions League last season, I'll be looking to go through there, I think, this time. I've got to be quietly confident this time because I was a bit negative last season, I got through. So I'm going to be quietly confident this season. I've got to go to hell, but if I can go to hell and come back with a win, I'm all right. I'll be doing all right.
All right, then. Well, let's see what happens then in season number 11. Despite the early fixture against me, Dad's start was really good, but it didn't stay that way for too long. In fact, he was actually sat down in 12th place in the Serie A by the end of January, while I was just outside the top 4, sitting 3 points behind AC Milan. It was slightly better in the Champions League though, with just 3 losses and 5 wins. Whereas I was also having a better time in the Europa Conference League with 6 wins from 6. In January though, the biggest bit of news was that my director of football signed one of Dad's players in James Flanagan, a left back that he signed for me for £20 million. And that was just 2 days after we beat Dad 3-2 for a second time this season, thanks to an Ioannidis banger to complete a hat-trick. Dad's director of football used the money wisely and he brought 3 players in during January and 2 of them could easily go straight into the first team and do damage. Unfortunately for Dad, in the round of 16 of the Champions League though, he was drawn against PSG, but it did take them all the way to extra time in the second leg before eventually losing 5-2 on aggregate. While I was still making my way through in Europe, my league form continued and I found myself battling in the top 3 of the Serie A table. We even found ourselves in the Coppa Italia final as well, defeating Fiorentina across 2 legs. Unfortunately, the semi-final was as far as I got in Europe as Lyon defeated us and went on to win the whole competition. On to the Coppa Italia final though, and Napoli was our opponents, who were quite frankly amazing on the day. We were simply abysmal, and they were clinical and punished us, embarrassing us in fact, winning 5-0. But there was very little other than that to be down about with our season. But the same cannot be said for Dad. Well, this time round, I'm celebrating the very good and almost season of the Europa Conference League semi-final and a runner-up in the Coppa Italia.
Unlucky, yeah.
Got bad 5-0, but still, I got to the final.
Yeah.
And finished in 3rd place, whereas you, Dad,
I took a real bad nosedive, didn't I?
Yeah.
-9 goal difference. That's where the problem is. I'm not scoring enough goals.
Looking at the... Look at that, look, what a climb I had in comparison to probably the opposite to what you had.
Yep.
Yeah.
Where you were down, I was up.
Yeah.
Then we just changed places, look.
So,
Cool.
Went very
Terrible.
different, our seasons.
That's what happens when you get quietly confident, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. Shot yourself in the foot there, didn't you? Ioannidis got 17 goals, which is good, but I still think we're missing that killer instinct striker because he's now, 34? Yeah, 34.
Yeah.
So he's starting to lose a little bit of pace and finishing ability, but he's still got 17 this year. But there we go, 7 losses in total. Not bad. Not bad at all. I'm just really annoyed
Good
that
season.
we couldn't get a cup over the line or a Europa Conference League. Lyon went on to win it, unfortunately. We faced them and lost 4-3. It's not a bad result. I mean, we knocked out AZ in the quarterfinals, the round of 16, Aris, so we had an okay run. Didn't play in the knockout playoff round. We went through top of the lead, winning 6 out of 6, which is when you see that, you think, that's annoying. Because I beat AZ Alkmaar 4-0 there. They finished second.
Yeah. I
was their only defeat. So you look at that, you think, I should cruise this. And I fluffed it in the end. But never mind. You also played in the Europa competitions. You got the Champions League round of 16, Dad. So you did progress.
What was I caught against PSG tonight? So.
Yeah, we beat them in the first leg. 2-1.
Yeah.
It's typical.
So, unlucky, really.
Knockout playoff round. Knockout Bayern Munich, though, which is rather impressive. 6-4.
Pleased with that result.
So that was really good. But the league phase, finishing in 11th, can't be too disheartened with that. 3 losses, 5 wins. I mentioned that.
Yep.
5 wins. 4-2 against Inter Milan. Went to hell and won 2-1.
Yes, really pleased with that. So, yeah, I've done well there. So, yeah.
Only lost the games you expected to lose, really.
Just disappointed with the league.
Yeah.
What happened with my league sort of form?
I mean, you were also knocked out by Napoli in the Coppa Italia. That's
they were the team that went on and won it, yeah. So, yeah.
Look how bad your league form is at the end of the season.
Oh, my. That's
not a single win
since
January.
Oh, I don't know how I didn't get sacked.
Yeah. That's absolutely mental. I mean, your Champions League run, I guess, kind of saved you a little bit there. But the first half of the season was really good.
So, a good job. It was a good first half of the season, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I sort of been relegated out.
Yeah. So
yeah, very poor.
Not bad. Okay.
Disappointed with that.
Let's have a look. 14 goals for Max Meerdink. They haven't really got going this year.
No.
Marco Nasty or Max Meerdink, and they're both 30.
Yeah, I mean, I've got to tip my after Marco Nasty. He hasn't let me down.
Well, he has this season. He's only got 11.
You know, over the years so far. So, yeah, I'm not going to be too nasty on him.
Hey.
So, yeah, but disappointed. Bad season. Bad at the end of the season. So, hopefully I can do something about that.
New signing Didier Charles, though, got 5 goals, 9 assists, and a good average rating.
Yeah.
Developed quite well as well. He is wanted, however, by PSG.
Oh, no, don't do that to me.
Voilemon is not wanted, though, which does surprise me.
Yeah.
After how good he is. Nobody's come in for him just yet. And Isaac Pereira, who come off the bench 27 times, was the other signing that I really wanted to have a look at. Not bad. I mean, Ben Doak played quite a lot of games and he's done quite well with 15 assists. So it's hard to kick him out of the team for Pereira.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think you've got an interesting debate on what you should do there, really. If you got £28 million. What's funny is if we're looking at what I have got coming in, I am signing Danny Namaso, who was your player.
Yeah.
He is now joining me instead. So, yeah, on a free transfer.
I'm going to have to go into a nice little quiet room and have a quiet word with my director of football.
Oh, you already played him 8 times,
This doesn't, yeah, but it doesn't happen. It shouldn't be happening. Quiet word with him, I think.
I also, obviously, in January, bought James Flanagan. So there's 2 players that I bought from you. So, yeah, brought him in January. But you did replace him. You had a good left-back that came in for you during the January window. If we're looking at that. Ben Carroll came in for £7 million at left-back. He's all right. He's maybe not as good as James Flanagan, but he's not bad. But the big signing for you in January was this guy, Jaquette.
Yeah.
Who's fantastic. He's very good compared to the players that we have been bringing in. However, 0 goals for you so far in 13 games.
Yes. He looks good, but he didn't perform.
No, not at all. All right, then. Let's have a look, then, at the wheel spin going into season number 12. All right, Dad, your turn to go first this time around. Let's spin the wheel and see what it's going to be. Add to transfer target. It is indeed, which isn't bad.
I'll take that. As long as he does his job properly, I can tell him who I want, and he'll get him for me.
Well, yeah, there we go. It failed for me once, though.
Yeah,
just saying. Just saying. So let's spin the wheel for me, then, and see if I get something similar, whether I get to sign a player myself, or will it go to the director of football? It's going to be the same as you.
Ooh.
Adding to the transfer target.
It's going to be interesting.
This summer. Yeah, so it's a risky one, isn't it? Because you've got to make sure it's a bloody good choice. But it's better than or director of football, that's for sure.
Yeah.
This summer, I found a bargain and the perfect player to bring in after losing Chris Berger on last season for just $250k on a release clause. Now he's still young and developing, but with game time, Mike Stegner could be a star for me. Dad decided to use his transfer to replace the left back that he sold to me, and he found Fenerbahce's Yilmaz. His director of football made the bid soon after, and Yilmaz was signing a contract to become a Sampdoria player. Once again, though, it was so disappointing this summer to see my director of football sell my current best player, and this time Lysenko moves to Tottenham. But at least he replaced him with a very good signing, although not quite as talented, in Begic for 28.5 million. The same could not be said though for Jurel Hatto, who also left the club just a season later to Manchester City for 34 million. Dad wasn't immune to this either, because Didier Charles, just a season after Dad chose and signed him, has gone to Real Madrid for £18 million more than what he was bought for. We're both losing players. You lost yours to Real Madrid again.
Yes.
£58 million for Didier Charles.
Disappointed with that.
What I will say is we're picking good players.
Yeah.
I mean, when we're actually allowed to pick our own signings, we are doing very well. I mean, you signed him for £40 million. I was like, well, you only signed for little, for 7. Sold him for 58 million, which, you know, it's a shame you've had to sell him after just one season.
Yeah.
But you can see why
Such
he
an
would go to
important
Real
position
Madrid.
as well, yeah.
Yeah. And obviously on my side of things, my defensive midfielder has gone as well, annoyingly. And, of course, Joel Hatto, my best centre-back. Only got him on last season in our free transfer. Got £34 million out of it. I mean, it's good in some ways. Yeah, it's good business, but it's just so annoying. And Tottenham Hotspur come in for Lysenko very early on. Oh, it's just so good.
2 big players you just lost, isn't it?
Yeah, £16 million turned into 52 after 2 seasons. Again, it's great business, but at least he's kind of spending what he had. I only got 60% of the transfer revenue, which is, you know, not great. But he did spend it, so I can't be too mad, really. Danny Namasso comes in. The player that I chose, I've had a bargain. Mike Stegner, 250k.
Absolute bargain, yeah. You were looking for this guy, weren't you?
Yeah, always check the minimum fee release clauses.
Yes.
Just a simple, put in a couple of attributes, and then I found the release clause. But what he signed, I'm really pleased with some of them. Lima from Fluminense, £12 million. All right, he's not the best finisher. Everywhere else,
I'll say he looks good apart
really
from the
good.
finishing, doesn't he? Really?
Yeah. Very much like Bergeron, who I had previously, the American, where the actual striking ability is not his forte, but as a passer of the ball in that DLF role, we could be cooking with Lima. He looks really good. Idris Begic from Gladbach, £28 million. I think that might be the highest that my director of football has spent.
Yeah.
So Idris Begic is a good centre mid as well. So he comes in. Then we got Czech Decore, who for 34 years of age. How much do we sign? 1.3 million. Can't be too disheartened with that.
He's a young lad, isn't he?
Well, he's 34, but only spent 1 million.
Yeah.
1 million,
1 million,
pound
yeah.
on him.
He's a good player for 1 million, yeah.
Then we've got Raul, one of my favourite names of a player
What a
of all
player he was,
time. Another good midfielder.
That is a good signing, I think, yeah.
So although Lysenko's gone, we've brought in 2 good midfielders there. £18 million isn't bad either. Ogun Lay, I don't know.
Probably is he just signed the same
midfielder again.
It's the same position, though, isn't it? He just signed
3 midfielders.
3 players in the same position, isn't he?
And then finally, Santiago Jimenez, who's a free transfer as a striker option.
There's the one who knows where the back of the net is.
Yeah. My only concern is that I'm still playing my 3 deeper players, but by the looks of it, they were still getting in there. Raul and Ramirez is actually playing there as well, but some of the players like Begic can play in that deeper role and can do all right. So I'm hoping by the end of the season, he'll be absolutely fine. But
yeah.
Raul gets in there. We've got enough strikers now to play up front with 3, which is the reason why I've pushed that centre attacking midfielder up. So Masek probably won't play as many games as what he was, because we don't really need an attacking midfielder anymore, but we've got enough players to play up front. Obviously with Danny Namasso, who he signed from you, Santiago Jimenez. We've got obviously Ioannidis, who has been playing there recently. We've got options as well as Chirico, Stegner and Lima up front. Still haven't really done anything with my defence yet. Don't know why he's just refused to do anything with my defenders, but our centre-backs are just really poor. So there we go.
Yeah.
We'll see. But schedule-wise at the start of the season, it's not been great, but I've only played 2 games.
Yeah.
It's a 2-2 draw against Lecce. It's a 2-1 loss to Cagliari.
It's teams that you feel that you should be beating.
I know, especially Cagliari at home.
Yeah. I mean,
that should be a win.
Where you've just finished in the league, was it third?
Yeah.
You expect to be beating these teams, don't you?
Absolutely. So Champions League fixtures for me for the first time. Atletico Madrid at the first one. Real Madrid is in there as well, so some familiar faces will play at Real Madrid. And Arsenal away from home in the final game. But Zagreb, Torino, Lille, Copenhagen, Marseille, 5 winnable games.
Yes.
It's
I'd agree.
potential.
Yes.
Let's have a look then, Dad, and see what you've gone. Obviously, we know you've lost the Didier Charles, but the signings that came in, again, not bad.
I'm pleasantly pleased with this
Yeah.
transfer window, to be honest with you.
I mean, Fethi Yilmaz was your player that you
Yes.
added to the transfer
Well, I lost my
targets.
left back to you, didn't I? Which
Yeah. Didn't
so I
replace
knew.
him with a very good one.
No, so I knew how to get a really good one in, and this guy is a really good one. So
He's mustard.
yeah, I'm
very
pleased.
good player.
I'm pleased with this signing. But the signings that he's made, I'm quite
Free transfer, right
free
mids.
transfer. What a winger that is!
Yeah, very
he looks
good.
really good.
Then this one, Kande, great midfielder.
Yeah,
There's so many 15s and 16s in there.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, so that's 2 free signings that he's done there. Very good.
Yeah. Dennis Girl, who £32 million was spent on him from Sporting, 30 years of age, but he's decent.
I'll take that. Yeah, I'll take that.
6'3",
Didn't
great
score
jumping
enough-
reach.
Didn't score enough goals last season. They let me down to the 2 strikers, like we
Yeah.
said. So yeah, I'm glad he listened and went out and got a striker.
Yeah, that was on the 19th of August. And then on deadline day, Philip Jorgensen coming in.
Good keeper.
Another goalkeeper.
Really pleased with that. Yeah. So got 2 good keepers in there now. See
Yeah.
what they fight it out with.
So you're locking in Vitor. So
Yes.
Manu Vitor, who we might not have mentioned for a while, you signed from Porto a couple of seasons ago. You're deciding to give him an opportunity this year.
I want him to be in there. He's by far my best of the striker, I feel, looking at it. So pace wise, he's a little bit slow, but he's good in front of the goal.
Okay, so you've changed the tactic ever so slightly because obviously you had a bad year last year. If you didn't lock him in, Dennis Girl goes up there.
That's the thing. I wanted. We had a good winger in. We've had a couple of good wingers over the last couple of seasons, but this guy
Yeah.
keeps
Ben Doak keeps saying
keeping
that.
his position. So I'm going to let him go, leave him there. But I've just pushed him up further forward to sort of try and support the wingers, support the strikers, and see if I can get a few more goals and a few more wins out of it.
You should have gone for my classic 2 right midfielders.
Yeah, should have done really. Yeah.
That would have been funny.
Yeah.
9th place currently, but you've played both Milan sides.
Yes.
And Manu Vitor is the only guy to score for you so far.
Well, I'm going to take that. Losing against Inter Milan, it's not a bad one.
Nope.
But then beating AC Milan at home, that's a really good result. So
Yeah.
with my start of the season, 11 minutes, 2-0 up. Yeah, I'm going to take that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Gotta be pleased with that. Okay. I'm in Europe, Dad isn't. Is that going to hinder my season in season number 12 as we get towards the end here? We've either got to win the Serie A or see where we finish up after season 14. When we played against each other in September, Dad took an early lead, but then he literally gave me the win as we come back from behind to win 4-1 at home. We both struggled, it seemed, for the first half of the season, and my top scorer was an unlikely source in Lima. His 12 goals alongside Manu Vitor for Dad was top of the pack, but our teams were down in 6th and 9th. Our Champions League campaign was going well until we got to the round of 16 and played Arsenal, who unfortunately ended our journey there. We played Dad again in February, and a mirror image for the first fixture went in our favour of Dad, who won 5-1. We also faced each other in the semi-final of the Cup, where Dad got the same result again, well and truly destroying me in the second half of the season. Dad's form improved in the Serie A too, and ourselves and Roma are all sat on 50 points, fighting for 4th place with Empoli, who I then played in the following game, and they beat me at home 2-1, almost ending my season. Dad was still fighting for those Champions League places though, and of course, he had a cup final to come as well. And he stood a good chance of winning because Lazio was the team who he had to beat in the final. Unfortunately, on the day though, and literally the game after defeating them in the league 5-2, Dad lost the cup final to Lazio by 2-0. The good thing is that both our league forms ended very positively. Well,
I'm pleased with that.
we've jumped.
Yes.
I feel like we went for a stage where we were flirting with the top and then we dropped right back down again to that mid-table. This is consistent. I mean, you had a bad season last year.
Yeah.
But this is consistently now.
Where we're sort of like finishing, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, within the last 4 years, our average position is within the top 7.
Yeah.
And I think that's a positive. We're getting somewhere.
I'm really pleased with that finish, considering where I finished last season. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Runner-up in the Cup, which you knocked me out in the semi-final of.
Yeah. I'm so disappointed losing against Lazio. I mean, when the Milan sides are not there, you got to jump all over it. And I felt I had a really good chance there with Lazio. They're only 9th position in the league. I'm way better than them in the league. So, I was so disappointed. That could have been a really good one to win then.
Yeah, absolutely. 9 losses in total across the season.
Yeah.
You lost to Lazio in there as well.
Yeah.
I did beat you when you came to me 4-1. But I also lost against you 5-1 and, of course, lost the 2 games in the Cup. So always entertaining when it was between us. But we're tight. I mean, Empoli finished above us.
Where did they come from?
That's mental. We're both finishing above Juve. But then we haven't got the top scorers. Usman's up. Oh, my God, look how good he is. Centre midfielder. He's got 19 goals this season. You can see why Empoli's doing well, though. They've got the 2 top goal scorers underneath there in Granelli and Talotta.
Yeah.
Alejandro Garnacho is also doing quite well for Inter Milan. From the wings, he got 7.5 average rating, but their goalkeeper, both goalkeepers for Milan's, are doing really well and keeping clean sheets. Yeah. But Ben Doak, 14 assists.
Yeah, I mean, we did mention him, didn't we? That he keeps his place, and he's done a good season for me.
Yeah. So the rest of the season then, so Marco Nasti with the most goals with 19. Locking in Manu Vitor, considering he had the first 3 goals, he only got 12 after that.
Yeah, disappointed with that one.
Also looks like he picked up a bit of an injury because he didn't play as many games. He's out with a torn hamstring and a torn calf, or calf strain at least. So he has missed a fair amount of games. Dennis Girl has probably missed out because of him playing all those games.
Yeah.
He's only started 13. He might have had a better season, to be honest, because although he only started 13, he scored 12.
Yeah.
So did Max Meerdink, 12 and 12. So
yeah, it backfired on me, didn't it? Locking that player in.
Yeah.
It might have just probably been better if I just left it, really.
Yeah. Voilemans has done quite well, though. 16 goals, 11 assists. He's 26 years of age now, so he's in his prime. Still nobody coming after him, though, which is surprising.
Just doing me a favour, that is.
Yeah. Your best player, which is currently the left-back that you signed, 2 goals and 7 assists. Didn't have the best year, though.
No.
6.9, only 7 assists from left-back.
He looks better now.
Yeah.
So
PSG's in for him, though.
That's the problem, isn't it? You know, you're looking at... And he's only 48, valued at 48. He's going to go any.
Yeah.
I can feel it.
Arif Saglam, who of course they bought, has been playing right back quite a lot for you, or coming off the bench at least. But yeah, there's some positions here that I think we both need to improve. It's just whether we're allowed to have the ability to do so. But a lot of the signings that your director of football made has played games.
Yes.
Kande's got 27 appearances there with 17 off the bench. So he's done quite well. Saglam, obviously, we just mentioned. Dennis Gale has played quite a lot off the bench. You know, they're playing games. There's some which hasn't. I mean, I'm quite surprised Jorgensen didn't play a single game.
Yeah.
Which is mental. I thought he would be your number 1 choice goalkeeper, but it's still this man.
Yeah.
Who's getting in the net instead. That does surprise me.
Yeah, I'm going to have to look at that one. Yeah, so... But I can't knock what they've done this season, really.
No. Transfer budget, you got £34 million. Is that an in? It is. João Muniz is on his way in for $15 million. That's a good left-sided centre-back.
It is. I'm pleased with that. He's booked his ideas up, I'll tell you.
He has. He's done better in this last couple of seasons as Michael Edwards.
Oh, no, Michael.
So
that little quiet talk I had with him in the little room, it's worked.
Yeah.
He haven't sold you anybody?
Players, yeah. So let's have a look at my Barry side. Obviously, the January window, we didn't make any signings. We did sell a couple of players, including Ioannidis, who, of course, has left but for a very cheap cost. And yeah, I wasn't too sad about him leaving. He wasn't really getting many game times anyway. An okay season overall. I mean, 5th place, knocked out in the Champions League of the round of 16 by Arsenal. I'm just happy we got there. The knockout playoff round, we eliminated Dortmund. And in the league phase, we were down in 19th, just behind Rennes. 3 wins, 1 draw, 4-4 as well, with 4 losses.
Arsenal, you lost to Arsenal there as well, so
yeah.
You lost to Arsenal twice there. So
Porto went on to win it, though. Ooh. Oh no, Porto won it last year. It's Inter versus Liverpool this year, so Porto won it last year. But yeah, there we go. Benfica couldn't quite get that. They were in the semi-final this year. But yeah, I'm not too worried about that. Lima was my actual top scorer in the in the league. He got 20 goals across the whole season. Surprising. He's only got 10 for finishing. But he's done all right as Lima.
He's your top goal scorer, and he hasn't improved on finishing.
No. Mike Stegner, who cost me, remember, 250k. Only worth 1.9 to 6.8. That's harsh.
Come on.
That is really harsh.
Look how good that player. You would buy him every day of the week at 6.8 million.
18 acceleration. He looks really good. All right. Some of his
does.
mental attributes are a little low, but still really good. He's only 20.
He lacks a little bit of vision, a little bit of teamwork. You just take him away on holiday with all the lads. He'd come back with better teamwork.
Yeah, he put it in though. 17 goals and 14 assists.
Yeah.
Really good. Chirico, 16 and 10. Two very good performances from those lads. I've got Joe Scally coming in, by the looks of it, from Gladbach. Not a bad right back.
Bad. Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, he's all right. The natural fitness of 18 keeps me happy because I know obviously he's 32. But yeah, we cannot be too displeased. And we got £26 million. It's starting to get good.
Yeah.
It's taken 12 years.
We're getting close.
But now, with a spin of the wheel, we might be able to bring in somebody very good indeed. So let's have a look. Okay, I'm first this time round. Let's see what the wheel is going to give me for next season. Anything but green. Oh my God. One free transfer. Now, the last time I had that, I got Yarel Hato. Sold him for £40 million later. It's not the best, but it definitely isn't the worst.
This is a signing of your choice, isn't it? So
yeah,
it's all right.
Okay, spinning for you, Dad.
Please don't give me green.
What's it going to be? You're going to avoid it.
I'm happy with that.
One add to transfer of your choice.
Get in.
Or transfer target. One add to the transfer target.
Yeah.
So the director of football's got to make the offer.
He's been good so far.
You pick who it is.
Yeah.
So if you make sure you don't want to miss this one, make sure you are subscribed because season 13 and 14, the final 2 episodes, will be coming very soon. And recently, it's been heartbreaking as our director of footballs have been selling our best players to bigger clubs just after we have fairly successful seasons and are failing to replace them in the same windows. We've been competing very well domestically though, despite this, and even reaching cup finals only to lose, however. Confidence is high though, and despite the cup losses, we are doing very well and both sat in the top 5. The wheel was generous to Dad last time round as it was allowing him to add a player to his transfer targets. Well, I was searching for a free transfer, and while there was a lot of options at centre-back, which is a position I do need to improve, and a decent striker, one player really stood out from Portugal. And so I made the approach for Pedro Marquez to become a Barry player, and thankfully he accepted the contract that was on offer. Meanwhile, Dad's director of football was putting in a massive £32 million bid for Erwin Mercier, who Dad was targeting. And both of our transfer targets were successful and will be joining the club for season 13. My plan this year is to deploy Marquez as the spearhead in my 4-3-3 narrow that has 2 supporting roles next to him. And it looks to be paying off this season as we managed to hold on to all of our best talents as our director of football rejected any bids coming in and we go through the start of the season unbeaten. Dad's director of football, however, has other ideas, and he sold Ben Doak to Al Ali for a big fee of £41 million after only arriving on a free transfer 3 seasons ago. And although Dad's striker Dennis Girl has been on fire in the first 3 games, it's the signing in goal that's been making all the headlines for Sampdoria this summer. As Dad's director of football signed Gianluigi Donnarumma for just £6 million to play in goal this season as the 36-year-old finally returns to the Serie A. Dad, I really lucked out finding what I think it might be the best free transfer available throughout this whole journey.
This isn't far off the best transfer, full stop, whether you paid for him or not, but a free transfer as well.
Yeah.
Wow, God almighty.
Pedro Marquez, who's been at Maritimo throughout his whole career, scoring 15 goals for Maritimo in the last 2 seasons in the league, got him on a free transfer, and boy has he started well. 2 goals, 3 assists, and a player of the match for a free transfer. Cracking. I'm really excited to bring him to the club. And to be fair, what we've done very well is keep hold of all of the other players.
Yes.
Our director of football has done us a really solid job. Now, the rest of the window, obviously we didn't have that much money. Joe Scally come in on a free transfer, which was already a done deal. That's fine. We good depth, and actually, compared to the rest of the team, he'll probably start quite a few games. Duganzic, another striker. And to be fair, although his pace is quite low, another good one.
Yeah.
Another good one. So he's been at Hajduk Split. He hasn't scored that many goals last season, 5. But the season before, he got 16 in 29. So we'll see whether he plays quite well. Tom Beckett, guess what? Another striker.
He's not a bad striker neither,
He
is he?
ain't bad either. So we've got 3 strikers just in this window. Again, he hasn't played like all of the games. He got 13 and 19 2 seasons ago, which is unbelievable, really. But yeah, it was only last season, actually, because we paid for him this season quite late on in the window, as you can see, after he's already played a few games. But then finally, we got Riccardo Benedetti, a 4th. No, he's a right back, but he's the 2nd right back that we have in this window. So there we go. Our director of football, who, of course, we changed a few years ago, I think has done a good job in Sam Ellis, has done a good job in buying quality players. He's just stuck with 2 positions.
Yeah.
Now, in fairness to him, the rest of the positions were okay. Marquez is going to be locked in as our main striker. I think that makes sense because he gets put out to the right there, where I prefer him in this centre midfield role, in the centre forward role. But our midfield is decent. Obviously, Raul has come into his own now. He's 23. He's getting game time. Wagner and Ramirez has been around for a while and developing okay. But I still wish that we had a better left-sided defence than Joaquin. But, hey, okay, if we were doing the transfers, that's how picky we would be.
Yeah.
Schedule at the start of the season, we played down in a friendly. It was a 3-3 draw, so don't worry about that. But the games that we have played in the league, we've drawn with Atalanta 2-2, beaten Frosinone 3-1, and beat Fiorentina 5-2 with Mike Stegner scoring a nice little hat-trick there. So, again, a good striker that we already had at the club, 20 years of age. And remember, he only cost us 250k after his first season, so he started the season really well as well. Dad, now your transfers, you obviously had the add to transfer target thanks to the wheel, and you spent almost all of your budget
Yeah, I did, yeah.
on one player. But you then, unfortunately, sold Ben Doak, which is something you didn't want to happen.
No, I definitely didn't want to sell him. He was probably one of my best players last couple of seasons. So, yeah, that's a bit of a disappointment, really.
Free transfer for £41 million, though.
It's good
from a business perspective.
It's so good, that,
Yeah.
isn't it? Yeah.
I know a lot of people in the earlier seasons were like, oh, this series is not it because of how bad the director of football is. I do think it's really stepped up in sort of like the last 3 or 4 seasons, maybe even 5 seasons.
Yeah.
And the quality of players and the transfer business that's getting done. But the rest of the transfer business is mental. So, Erwin Mercia.
Yeah.
Why did you go for Erwin Mercia?
I needed a defensive midfielder. Basically, that was what I felt was my weakest position.
Yeah, well, to go back to that, you did, obviously lose Didier Charles last season.
Yeah.
Which was never replaced.
No, he wasn't. No. So there you go.
That makes sense.
So that's what and he was the best I could find at the time. So yeah, and he plays the other 2 positions, which it comes as a bit of a bonus as well. But he's a good player. I feel he'll do well in that position. He's 2-footed. I mean, his mentals and his physicals are all there to be seen, really. You know. So and his tackling, marking, he's got it all. I feel.
Just can't pass.
He just can't pass. But as long as he just stops the play going past him, I'm happy with that.
He reminds me of Fred, who was at Man United as a midfielder.
Yeah.
11 for passing, but he's got good vision. Fred used to always see the pass. It was just 50-50 whether he'd be able to make it.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
So, yeah, he's the version of Fred.
Yeah.
But then, I mean, you love signing a goalkeeper.
Well,
and they're not much better than Donnarumma.
I just couldn't believe our director of football pulled this one in for me. I just went over and gave him a big kiss on the top of the head. Just thank you very much. I love you. Kind of thing. Yeah, this is great, isn't it? I couldn't ask for a better keeper coming into the last couple of seasons.
Yeah.
Happy days for me.
What a keeper. Jelani Best was the final signing. Good cover for that left wing. He's on a loan, but will be joining permanently next season. Decent winger, to be fair.
He's a decent winger, but we know I've got quite a couple of good wingers on that side anyway. So, yeah, but he could get in the side, but I do if I get any injuries.
Yeah. Now, tactically, we are looking at a 4-4-2 with, obviously, Voilemund being pushed up. Your strike partnership of Dennis Gill and Nasty is obviously
still going well.
Still going well now. Yeah, they're scoring goals. I mean, Dennis Gill has got 7 in 3 games at the start of this season, and yet you're sat in 7th place.
Yeah.
What has happened there?
What's going on?
That is because Torino was a 5-1 win where Dennis Gill got 4 goals.
Yeah.
He then scored against Juve in a loss, 3-2 loss, unfortunately. But then he got both goals against Empoli. That guy is in form right now.
Yeah, he is, yeah. That's what I can keep it going now. Got a good keeper in, so my defence is a little bit stronger with that. Good defensive midfielder in, so I think defensively I'm a little bit stronger this season, so hopefully it works for me.
Yeah, we're knocking on the door of the top 2.
Yeah.
If we're looking at the season preview, we're still bumped down in 9th and 10th, but remember, we finished, 4th and 5th or 5th and 6th last
Something,
season.
yeah.
So we are knocking on the door of the title holders and pushing as much as we possibly can. As you can see, we're already dropping points. Inter Milan have won 3 from 3. But I wouldn't be too surprised if we're in around that area yet again this season. So let's find out what happens. In September, we faced off again, and Chirico was scoring in the first minute of the match. However, the game ended as a draw when Dad managed to find an equaliser from a set piece. A highlight of Dad's season was the form of Dennis Girl, who had nearly got 30 goals by the end of January. My central striker Marquez surprised me though, because although he is scoring goals, he is also supplying them, getting a lot of assists as well, which has allowed Stegner to be our top scorer so far. The difference on the pitch in the first half of the season is I've managed to creep in more wins over the line than Dad has, and I'm sat in second place, albeit miles behind Inter. We are sat next to each other in the Champions League phase, funny enough, and we will both be heading to the knockout playoff round. There was nothing too close about the second fixture against each other, mind. We battered Dad and scored some cracking goals to win 5-2. And his season was almost over when he lost to PSG in the round of 16 of the Champions League, which is the same round that I got knocked out to by Liverpool 5-3 on aggregate. And I say it was almost over because Dad and I are currently battling it out with the Milan sides to reach the Coppa Italia final. Dad actually came from behind in the second leg to take the game to extra time, where he found a cheeky winner, while my first leg draw was an afterthought as we battered AC Milan 3-0 in my second leg. Meaning, yes, the cup final was to be decided by our two teams. My form in and around the final was horrible though, and I somehow dropped out of the top 3 to be replaced by Dad's Sampdoria, who was definitely on form. And that tells a tale of how the final actually went, which had everything, by the way. A goal in the first minute, a back and forth contest, which each teams had their very best players performing well, but also a red card that shifted momentum, all to lead to 8 goals being scored and Sampdoria lifting the trophy. Oh, probably one of the most entertaining cup finals of all time.
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus Christ, this had everything. It had goals, it went back and forth, it went 1-0, 1-1, 2-1, 2-2, 3-3 at half-time, just after half-time, down to 10 men with 2 yellow cards from Robert Wagner. He got 2 yellow cards in 4 minutes.
4 minutes, jeez.
That was an angry 4 minutes.
He didn't learn, did he?
No. Wow. Unbelievable game of football, but well done, Dad.
Your first 2 goals as well? So.
Yeah. He didn't score many in the league, but he got quite a lot in the cups. Yeah, fair play, Dad. You've won the Coppa Italia, which is great in this second to last season.
Yep.
5-3. And we were fairly close to the Serie A, the top.
It's 2 Milans again, isn't it?
Yeah, still 23 points away from Inter, who just seem to be too good.
Can we?
But there's definitely signs. There's a point between us in the league. And look at the goals. 27 from Dennis Girl. 25 from Nasty.
My 2 had a good season, didn't they?
Yeah. Stegner's down there. I mean, I had more like goal scorers, but I mean, Pedro Marquez only got 14. I'm disappointed with that. Lima, the striker who can actually shoot, he got 15 goals.
He got 15.
Yeah. So I'm not sure how he's pulled that off, but yeah.
He's probably been inside the 6-yard box and the ball zits and goes in.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. Just luck, just positioning. Yeah, he's one of those guys, isn't he? But yeah, what an entertaining season going into this. The only downside was Champions League. We were both knocked out in the round of 16. We both had hard opposition. PSG for you, Liverpool for me.
Wrong time to come up against them 2 teams, isn't it?
Yeah, PSG went on to win the whole thing as well, beating Benfica in the final. The curse lives on, because I don't think...
Poor old Benfica, yeah.
I don't think they've won it since. No, Porto have, which is kind of good for them. But yeah, no Benfica. But there we go. Now, of course, the transfer budgets, £14 million after what I thought would obviously be a little bit more because of how well you've done. But you did spend quite a lot in the January. So maybe they are, but you did sell a lot as well, in fairness. because there's a few players that went out in January, totaling
so
to a
nothing-
good amount,
Only
including
46 million.
Yeah, Fetty Yilmaz, who went out. Obviously, the left back has left the club, which is a player that you picked a couple of seasons ago.
Yeah.
He's gone for 25 million. He was replaced though, so you've got a goalkeeper who's come in who's kind of terrible, to be fair. Everson from Flamengo for £10 million is a good backup left back.
He is good, but he's not.
He's not as good as Yilmaz. Tim Van Bert, unbelievable striker to
Whoa.
bring in.
That's a good signing.
Yeah, that is a
that's-
good signing.
I mean, but you're looking at my two strikers have done so well, and I've got this guy now who's going to be pushing them now. So
Yeah.
I'm pleased with that signing.
'Cause he's got
definitely.
5
And he
goals
got 5
in
goals in
13
13
games that he
start. That's a
played.
good start. Yeah.
But then Rui Soares was a better left back.
Yeah, that's not too bad. I'm happy with that one.
So
He's done. He's made a good profit on the other one,
yeah.
and we've got a couple of good ones in, which are good prices as well. I
So
think.
it's not too bad.
No.
You've also got players on the ins for coming up,
Free
including
transfers.
obviously Jelani Best, which was obviously a player that was already at the side, but he's developing quite well.
Another wing, yeah.
Oscar Bob is free transfer coming in, so a good option there from Real
Yeah,
Madrid.
he plays in a
in
couple of
fact.
positions I'm playing.
Yeah, and then you've got finally a Valentin Atangana Idoa, who's also coming in as a free transfer, who's a decent centre defensive midfielder.
Yeah.
So he is definitely bringing in players for you.
Yeah.
I tell you what, if you had the transfer of your choice with that 15 million and a huge wage budget, in fact,
Yeah,
you're
it's
right.
good.
Actually, you're
Yeah.
absolutely fine. You could
It
have
could be
a
a lot more.
really good window.
Yeah.
You could have a very good team going into this
I need
sporting season.
I need that wheel to be on my side, don't I?
Yeah. We'll have a look at your player statistics before we go on to me. We've got 37 goals from Dennis Girl. Marco
them
Nasty
two,
with
that's brilliant for
32.
them two, innit?
Yeah. Voilemann's still doing really well, 12 and 14. Jelani Best done quite well from the bench, really. 10 assists. Same as Isaac Pereira on the other side, so not bad at all. And Popolic, who's still there, getting 10 assists, so it's not too bad. Barry, then. Now, my transfer window in the January was not quite as entertaining as yours, but there was a couple of players that did join and leave the club. Santiago Jimenez left straight away. I wasn't really playing him. 35 years of age now. But the players coming in, we had 2 that came in. Naizinho from Internacional. My director just loves, but he couldn't play because of the non-EU rule, so he needs to learn that rule. I've got Dad as my director of football, loves a good striker, but and Rafael Felix, who's not that good, to be honest, just a backup left back more than anything. Now, I have a trans budget of 31 million. That's the most I have had ever.
Yeah.
And guess what? He signed another striker in Sky Vink, who is unbelievable. I can only play 3. What do I do now?
Google last season like 4 up front.
It's going to get to the point where I'm going to have to just do something like this, where I just do this and do. Can any of you strikers play out on the wings? Because we have to do something. This is mental. I'm going to
Be
have
entertaining,
so
wouldn't it?
many strikers.
And they're all good as well.
They're all decent. I don't know, like, if you think about the ones at the club now, we'll go and have a look at, like, just strikers alone. It goes down to basically Masic, you can play up front, but Pedro Marquez and up. We've got, like, 5 or 6, which were in your first team. You'd be like, decent.
Yeah.
Chirico is the Italian who we've had for a while now. Obviously, Stegner he's probably my best striker, arguably. He can play from the wings as well. And Pedro Marquez, who we've bought from last season.
He can play from the wing as
He
well.
can play so I might just stick a couple out on the wings and... Does this work? Has anybody played this formation before? Because I'm tempted to use it. Maybe stick these inverted.
You're going to feel sorry for that guy in the middle, aren't you?
Oh, he's screwed. They're just going to have to keep rotating it.
Yeah.
And just going to have to leave it. Maybe with the money that I got, I buy an unbelievable centre defensive midfielder.
You got to,
and just be like, please just hold the fort. Just by yourself.
So you need the spin of the wheel to be in your favour as well.
Oh, yeah.
Leave it all to the director. Come on.
That's it. So in terms of goals and stuff, 34 from Mike Stegner, Pedro Marquez. I said he didn't score that many goals. He did get 18 assists, which is quite a lot, to be fair, for a striker. Lima did well as well with 20 and 13.
That's screaming for him to go out on the wing, really. Now. He's got 18 assists. You need him out there.
He's got 15 for crossing.
Yeah.
So he might
he's quick.
really suit that wing. So that might be something. But what a player. Okay, let's spin the wheel for both of us then and find out our fate going into this final season of the Director of Football Challenge, and it's only just getting interesting. That's what's so frustrating about it. So let's find out. Okay, you're spinning first, Dad. Anything but the green.
Come on, red or yellow.
Blue isn't perfect either. Red or yellow's are 2 good options, and
Yes,
you've got
yes.
one at transfer target.
Pleased with that.
That's only failed for one of us once. That was me. So let's spin again then to see what I'm gonna get. Hopefully, it's one of those red or yellow ones as well. It's going to be the yellow. Yes. Transfer of your choice. Get in. Right. Centre defensive midfielder. All on his own. That's what I'm looking for. And we're going for it in this final season. Final season, and a transfer that I found was a centre-back, and I wanted to bring in from Bayern Munich, and I managed to eventually get an offer accepted. Dad took a long time deciding who he wanted to go for, but eventually decided on a striker who can also play from the right wing. But it turned out to be a bad choice, as Michael Edwards rejected bringing in the transfer, and his attempt was failed. He wasn't the only one disappointed though, because Mike Stegner left to go to Manchester City for £57 million just 2 seasons after I paid £250,000 for him. But of course, don't worry, the recent rules at Barry is if you sell one striker, you have to sign 2 or 3 more. In fact, I have so many strikers that I was looking at the craziest formation ever just to fit them all in the side and see if I could place them on the wings too. Now you might be thinking that I am a crazy man and that it just simply would never work. And you would probably be smart for thinking that until you realise that in the first 3 games of the season, I scored 18 goals. Well, this tactic is absolutely cooking. Goals-wise, it's mental.
That's a good start, though.
Yeah, 10 goals in one game, 6 in the next, and then 9 in the next one after that. But an 8-1 victory over Bologna. Oh, this is hilarious. This tactic is crazy, but it's somehow working at the minute. Anyway, we're top of the league. So transfer-wise, we've got loads in the transfer budget, which is really frustrating. But that is obviously because of Mike Stegner going to Manchester City for £50-odd million. Not bad, considering we paid 250 grand.
Yeah, good business.
So, very good business.
And you've got enough strikers to cover that, haven't you?
I don't think so.
If you get an injury, you could be in trouble.
Yeah, but the player that we decided to bring in was a left-footed centre-back. So I realise that we've got a really good DM already. The defenders I've been complaining about for a while, I would be a little bit hypocritical if I didn't go for a defender. There aren't a lot out there.
Well, that shows you that was the best one you could find, wasn't it?
Yeah, for the money that I had, that was the best one that would come to Barry. He's only 19. He could develop as well within that last season, but the fundamentals were there is what I was looking for. Good mental attributes. He can jump. He's quite fast. 6'3", good positioning, heading, marking, tackling. That's what I was really concerned about. Left-footed too, because that's the left-sided defender that we needed. Marcos Vinicius joined us for 4.8. He's a right winger, probably won't play much. Another guy from South America came in, who's a winger. He might play. He's quite good. He can play naturally on both wings. After selling Stegner, we needed an attacker, but he had already brought one in. £13 million for Robert Ramsak. He's quite good.
Yeah.
He has 8 goals in 3 games so far. He got 16 last season. He's already halfway there to what he had in the Bundesliga last year. And then finally, a goalkeeper on deadline day who I am going to lock in this season. We have had the same goalkeeper for so long. I actually can't remember how long ago it was that we signed Nesharat. It wasn't actually that long, but still, it felt like it's been a long time. So, yeah, I'm going to lock in this goalkeeper here. Lock in Temel as well. This tactic's crazy, but if we did best 11 picks, Sky Vink goes up front in that advanced forward role, which I like. The DLFs is Marquez and Lima. The inside forward is the left winger we just bought. Ramsak actually goes out to the right, which is weird. I don't know whether that's been playing out already. I haven't locked anybody in for this. He has played there. Oh, that's where he scored 5 goals is from right wing. Right winger scoring 5 goals. That's absolutely obscene, isn't it? But yeah, Begic in the defensive midfielder slot is the guy who's going to hold down the fort. Cracking head of hair. So, Edis Bedic, 23 years of age. He can tackle, he can pass. He can get around the pitch. He's going to need to.
Yeah.
But he's got the inverted fullback, so you can help. But yeah, not a bad start. Whereas Dad I mean, you haven't had a bad start, don't get me wrong. But transfer-wise,
Oh, dear.
quite a quiet one, actually.
Well, I was looking at same sort of positions as you, really, as the defenders, especially the centre defenders. Nothing there that improved my two that I already had there. So then I looked at the DMs. I know I bought a couple of recently, so I couldn't even improve them. So looking at my formation that I was playing, the only sort of position I felt I could improve, and I wanted to be a little more attacking, was my right winger. He was good, but I felt I could have improved him, especially if I moved him forward and went more attacking.
You never replaced Ben Doak.
No. So I was looking if I wanted to go forward and then do maybe an inverted winger. That's what I was sort of looking at, being more attacking. So I found one eventually. I struggled to find one that I really liked because they were all... Some were being chased by Real Madrid, Liverpool, and all that, and you just know they weren't going to come to me. Or the other ones were non-EU. So I didn't want to take a chance of approaching a player and finding that I couldn't play him anyway.
Sign him, yeah.
So I approached this one player. Well, I didn't approach him. I just told my
approach to
DM, DL, the sort of like
DoF.
DoF. That's the one I'm looking for. Yeah, and told him that's the player I wanted, and he rejected it.
So, no money was spent,
No.
even though you had £16 million in there. You also have Martin James, who's loaned from Torino. He's a very good goalkeeper, so that's not too bad.
He's good, but you're not going to use him.
What, in goal? Really?
No. Yeah, I got the world best keeper in goal, haven't I?
Yeah, but is Donnarumma still that good? He is 37. Oh, he's gone.
He's gone?
Yeah, he's
Oh, well.
retired.
I didn't know that.
No. So you do need a new goalkeeper.
I did need a
Martin
well,
James
well
was there.
done then. He's done something right.
Well, great decision.
What a...
This director of football is a genius. Oscar
star.
Bob came in on a free transfer. Of course, that was already a done deal. Idoa was already a done deal. So the only one he actually brought in that you didn't see other than the goalkeeper was Milan Schreider. Again, a goalkeeper. But not that, but quite good actually.
He is, yeah.
Two good goalkeepers coming in. It is really your director of football, isn't it?
Yeah.
You do love a goalkeeper. So tactically, you have changed things around. Oscar Bob is going into a more of a central role instead of that right winger, because last season you had him down here. So he fits in that role there instead.
That's it. I mean, I just wanted to be a bit more attacking. It's last season and hopefully go for it. So that's what I've done.
Okay, well, the schedule at the start of the season, you've lost 2 games already.
Yeah.
2 away games, 2 hard away games.
I started off well with beating Lazio, so I thought that's a really good game, but come against Atalanta and Milan, especially Milan, and lost both games, so a bit disappointed with that, really.
Yeah. In the Serie A, the season preview does put you in the top 4 finally.
Yeah.
And puts me up in 7th, so still nowhere near the top, but we're getting closer anyway. But it is the final season. We have decided the way that we are going to determine who wins the challenge is basically how many times we have finished above each other if we don't win the league this year. Which means I've got to win the league this year. But currently, I'm on track to do so.
Yes.
Very much so. So let's see how this plays out.
Milan have dropped points already.
They have both.
Into Milan, so yeah.
Both have.
So that's unusual for this time of the season that they've already dropped points.
Yeah.
So you're in with a good chance.
I need to keep that up, and hopefully I can claim it right at the death. It's not surprising that the game between our sides had a lot of goals. 7, in fact, with Dad pinching a 4-3 win. Defensively, though, he was so poor and dropping far too many points in the league table, falling down the table again into the first half of the season while I was sat chasing Milan in 2nd place. The Champions League did not go to plan for Dad either, as he was knocked out by Ajax in the knockout playoff round 6-3 on aggregate, despite his director of football bringing in some new defensive reinforcements in the January window from Argentina. And in the second leg of the knockout playoff round, we had 11 goals being scored, and we suffered the same fate as Dad in the Champions League, losing to Bayer Leverkusen 8-7 on aggregate. The attacking tactic began to take its toll on us though, and we even lost to Dad again in February. And with Dad exiting the Coppa Italia early, well, I stood no chance against a rampant Milan in the semi-final. We were playing for pride in our remaining league fixtures towards the end of the season. Well, there we have it. I was never close in the end. Unfortunately, my form just dropped off a cliff, but I still managed to finish above you in that final season, which does mean the total seasons between us is 8-6. So Dad finished above me 8 times. I finished above him 6 times. which means, Dad, you ultimately win the challenge, which I can't actually remember the last time you won. Challenge.
I'm pleased with that. It was a really hard challenge as well. So,
yeah.
And it was solely down to the tactics then as well, really. So I'm pleased that I've won it.
Yeah, so congrats. But the last season finished down in 8th place.
Yeah.
I finished down in 5th. The Champions League, etc., we were not very good in this season. No, I mean, I was definitely not set up for a Champions League win. I lost 8-7 against Leverkusen. But yeah, an Ajax defeat to you, 6-3 in the round of 16 as well. And the Coppa Italia, I mean, I was knocked out in the semi-final. I think you were knocked out in the quarters, both by Milan. But I think it was, or you was, Lazio for you on penalties. Well, I was knocked out by Milan. So, yeah, it's a disappointing end. Because obviously we set a timer because this could go on for ages.
Yeah.
The fact that we have no influence really, but we were just getting really close and starting to get a little bit interesting in terms of how it was playing out. Even in the January though, I had all that money and he still didn't really spend it. He brought in another right winger and a free transfer who not a bad right back, but still.
He signed a lot of non-EU players to your team as well.
Yeah,
you?
that was costing
I think you had a lot of players that you couldn't play.
Yeah. Checker was joining you, who looks like a really good midfielder.
Yeah.
Like, he's phenomenal. And then another striker. They absolutely seem to love their strikers recently. But yeah, it was just starting to get kind of interesting. I mean, he only signed one guy for you in the window, a really good centre defensive midfielder. Maybe not somebody who you would have bought, but still somebody you would have took. Maybe we can do extra 5 years where we do the transfers or something like that in a rebuild. That might be quite interesting. If you want to see that, let us know, because I would definitely be down for doing another 5 years and seeing if we can take these teams on and see who can do better in those 5 years, because I think we got the basis of a really good team here. We would do the transfers ourselves, because screw doing that for another 5 years. But I think we'll park the Director of Football Challenge for a while, maybe until FM26 comes out, and hopefully there's some more intelligent FM26 Director of Footballs. Because
100%.
some of the decision making that we have seen in this was wild. Yeah. But I really hope you enjoyed the challenge nonetheless. This has been the Director of Football Challenge. And remember, this is all thanks to Surprise Shirts from the very beginning. They gave me the Barry shirt to start this challenge off. So check out surpriseshirts.co.uk and use code OL10 or OL20 if you're getting a subscription. And you get yourself a nice little discount as well. But why not check out this video on screen, because while we're in Italy, they set me another challenge where I went to AC Milan and I had to do a youth to goal challenge to fix them, because right now they're in deep trouble. Omega Luke from the future here, and after the very underwhelming finish, we also decided to do that 5 years added on with Barry and Sampdoria, taking over the transfers ourselves. And it was very entertaining. So I'll pop that on screen once it's out for you to click as well.